Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
You nailed it. Bullseye. My name is James Petrogallo. I am here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us this week
doubt.
on another spectacular edition of Crime and Sports.
Can't wait.
It's gonna. We have an extra crazy episode this week. Yeah, this week's an extra nutty one. We all felt a little bad for Rudy last week with his brain damage and everything.
Yeah,
that was one of the ones. It was like him and Willie Mays Aikens. You're kind of like, oh, come on, turn it around,
get it
dude.
together.
And there's a couple. We've only had a couple people like that, and he was one of them where people were like, oh, it was really funny, but I kind of felt bad too. And I'm like, God damn it. So this week is someone where you won't feel bad for at all. Promise.
Okay.
Promise you won't feel bad. Thank you, everyone, for your iTunes reviews this week. I'm telling you, they've been tremendous. They've helped us out immensely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That on the business end, that's kind of we say like the Patreon, the PayPal, or the coal, whatever. Well, this is like the shovel that shovels the coal.
Right.
Is the iTunes reviews. So please, if you have not done it yet, please get on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. Doesn't matter. Nope. Not for our ego. Swear to God, just for business purposes. If you want to do more than that and you want to be a hero to us, like this long list of hero executive, now we're calling them executive producers because they're putting their damn money where their mouths are.
There's definitely some executives in there for sure.
Definitely. If you want to be like these fine people we're going to talk about later, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/crimeinsports.
That's the one.
That's like the name of the show. You can make a donation there, or you can make a one-time donation, which I'll tell you are just as much as appreciated.
No doubt.
They're huge. You can make that donation over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Make sure, Chicago, guys.
Oh, boy.
Next week.
Yeah.
Next week is Chicago.
It's coming up so fast.
Live.
I can't
Crime
wait.
in Sports and Small Town Murder. We've had a couple of questions. They are 2 separate shows.
Right.
It's not because we're greedy and we want 2 different tickets. You can't take over a venue for 5 hours and charge everybody $20. That's just not the way business works. It has nothing to do with us. They have bills to pay and electric and staff and all that shit, and they're not going to hang around for 5 hours for 1 ticket. That's not how it works. So that's not our doing. But it's a early show, Crime and Sports, late show, Small Town Murder. Small Town Murder is just about sold out. So get those tickets right now if you want them. And get the Crime and Sports seats. Let's fill this bad boy up. LH-ST.com.
That's the one.
Go to crimeandsports.threadless.com to grab your gear to wear to these live shows. Any kind of all of our phrases, all of our logos, everything on T-shirts, mugs, mats,
baby clothes, whatever you want.
Baby onesies that say you, sir, may fuck off, and people are buying them. So thank you guys for that. It is amazing.
You guys are great. I love you with your fucking sense of humor. It's terrific.
You guys are fantastic. So there's a lot there. Also, Detroit stand-up show, February 16th. We'll be there with Dan Cummins. And just added that night for the late show, we're going to be doing a live Small Town Murder. But it's not just Small Town Murder. It's a live Small Town Murder time suck
twist.
It's Small Town Murder with a time suck twist on it. Dan Cummins will be joining us, of course, to add his time sucking goodness to the whole thing.
Lord Time Sucker.
Lord Time Sucker.
Hail Nimrod.
That's right, man. So we're all going to get together, and we all have really good chemistry, and we have a really good time.
Yes.
And I'm going to get together with Dan, and we're going to work out a hell of a show mixing these together.
It's going to be so much fun.
It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be a great show, so get your tickets, and they're going to sell out fast between the 2 shows. So get those immediately.
Hurry up.
And if you can't see us there, you should see us 2 days later in Boston, where we have live shows of both podcasts again. Crime and Sports early show, Small Town Murders the later show. I think they're at like 4 and 7 for some reason. So that's an odd time, but again, not our doing. But get there. It's on a Sunday, so what do you care? Get there at 4. What the hell do you have to do? Football season's over.
Your Tom Brady is done.
Even if the Patriots win the Super Bowl,
I don't give a fuck.
It'll be over by then. So get your asses down there. Never mind. mind all of that, Jimmy, because Jesus, do we have a story today. Wow, I got to tell you, man, this is a doozy we have today. This guy is a nut job.
Okay.
We've had a lot of requests for this guy, and he's been on the list forever and been on the radar. And I try to mix it up with the sports.
Right.
The sports really don't matter here because, we're more about the crime and making fun of an asshole. But we do discuss the sports, and I can't do like 2 football players in a row.
No.
Or so I try to really space them out and stagger them. And every once in a while,
you got to shake up the crime, too. You don't want, so much financial crime. You don't want so much murder. You don't want so much mayhem.
I try to mix in a murder a month. I try to have a little meth, a little craziness, a little domestic violence, a little, robbery, some weird international crime. I really try to mix it up. And I get to a point every few episodes where I'm like, okay, I've done baseball, football, basketball, boxing, MMA. Like, I've done all of the main things that we do. Hockey, I've done all of these sports, and, like, I need a wild card. Where, like, I need a soccer, I need a this, I need a weird thing, I need a rugby. Not that they're weird, whatever, but it's something different.
It's different from
what we do our rotation.
Yeah.
And also oftentimes this is one of those times. So I'm like, I needed something weird, and I found a race car driver that I've known about, and we're going to talk about him. We're going to buzz through the racing. I'll tell you that right up front, because this story has so much insanity to it that we do not have time for this shit. And I don't know anything about racing anyway, so
I'll fill you in.
It's going to be
Depends
terrible.
on the type of racing.
It's like NASCAR.
Yeah,
shit.
I'm in.
Okay, I don't know shit about NASCAR, and to be honest with you,
I said that with the utmost confidence that I should not have done.
You'll screw it up, I'm sure.
I know enough about it.
When you hear the story, you're going to realize that there's no time for NASCAR here, really. Let's talk about Jeremy Mayfield, shall we? Jeremy Allen Mayfield is his full name. I know you've seen lots of the tweets requesting this crazy psycho.
I've seen the name, but I didn't. Sorry, guys.
And you just said you know NASCAR. You don't know who he is?
No, I know.
What are you doing, Jimmy? What the hell's wrong with you?
I don't know who he drove for, but I do know the name, and I have seen the tweets, and I didn't read much into it to find out any of the story. I'll say that.
I have.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Well, I hope you have, because otherwise this podcast is over.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
listening,
being here.
everybody. He was a race car driver and a bit of a douchebag. There's some crime. If you look it up, you'll find a bunch of shits. If you spend like 30 hours, you can really put together a compelling story. I did not do that this
Wiki
week.
the
I
shit out of it,
apologize.
guys.
Have a good one. Yeah. No, Wiki won't really give you the details.
Really?
Though, no.
Those fuckers whitewashed it?
I never fucking...
Well, I know that.
They don't white. They just... It's not the details of it. It's just the outlines.
You got
court
dates and documents and shit like that.
See, now we have that here. We have the details. He was born. All of this fuckery and nudnickery and everything else started way back on May 27th, 1969 in Owensboro, Kentucky, which is where he grew up. Owensboro, it sounds like a tiny, tiny town, doesn't it?
It's probably not.
It sounds like, I thought it was like, there's probably 300 people there. It's probably like Hazard, like Hazard County. Like Duke boys are jumping over ravines and shit. Sure. There's like 60,000 people there.
My Christ, that's a lot.
That's a decent-sized small
That's too
small
big
city.
for other podcasts.
That's too big for small-town murder. Yeah, I would not do that shit.
Owensboro.
That one would piss me off, too, because I'd look it up and I'd see Owensboro, Kentucky. Yes, small town. Then I'd look it up and go, fuck, God damn it, it's not small. Shit.
The murder's so salacious.
Oh, damn it. All right, moving on. Moving one town over. So Jeremy Mayfield, he grows up in Owensboro. He is... and he would put it the same way, and so would everybody. His wife would say it later. He's just kind of has a nice redneck lifestyle.
Yeah.
He does stupid shit as a kid and rides big into riding bikes, BMX bikes. He likes to blow shit up. He likes to do shit that normal 12-year-old kids
puts motors on a bar stool or some shit and drives that shit around.
You know how it goes. Whatever. Blowing things up, too, it keeps coming up. And that's funny because we used to like to do that when I was a kid, too.
Yeah, I mean,
you want to blow things up when you're a kid.
There was always that asshole that tried to blow up animals, too, though.
No, that's not
like,
okay.
Tried to put black cats inside a cat
that shit wouldn't play.
Or something.
That's not going to play.
That kid's always the one that got changed to another school in another town.
He got
by 12.
And by 16, he wasn't even in a normal high school. He was in like the vocational high school where he only had to go to like 11 o'clock in the morning, and then he'd leave and go get some weird job that wasn't like an adult job that adults had.
And he told you all the time, it's just like a high school diploma.
Yeah,
no, it's not, dude.
It's not, dude. That's not.
I promise you, it's not.
No, not at all. But Jeremy didn't quite have that. But he had parents and things like that. He just kind of, he's a rural kind of a Just a rural kid having a good a good old boy, never meaning no harm.
Yeah.
That's all it is. He's a Duke boy.
Yeah.
Just picture him as Bo Duke.
Yeah.
All right, well, just picture that. And he's sliding
rope
across
for a
the
belt
hood.
and fucking
He had a belt.
His jeans are short, but it's only because he got them from somebody else that
Duke
was
boys
super
had
tall.
belts.
Did they?
The Duke boys had belts. The Duke boys had
You're
belts.
right.
They had
Black
button-down
button-down
shirts.
plaids. Yeah, you're right.
You know,
You're
the
right.
Duke boys were the Duke
They weren't
boys.
Jethro.
No, the Duke boys were like rural chic back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They were like that was hot shit for like rural Georgia or wherever the fuck they were. Where was Hazard?
That's South Carolina, I think.
Was it Virginia?
Is it Carolina?
We've named half the states. Never mind. Because there's a bunch
One
of
of those
different
racist
hazards.
ones.
Georgia, maybe Kentucky.
It may have been
It was
Kentucky.
Hazard, Kentucky.
You're
It is
right.
Kentucky.
And that's
okay.
where Owensboro
That's
is,
where
right?
he's from.
All
So
right.
never
Same
meaning
shit.
no harm. So his Uncle Jesse brought him up right.
Jesus
Taught him out of
Christ.
moonshine, but only when it helped the people.
Right,
So you understand,
right.
and you have Boss Hogg and
Sometimes you got to pay rent.
Roscoe P. Coltrane will be chasing you. So once in a while, you got to jump a ravine.
Yeah.
And no one ever taught me that as a kid.
No?
And that's my problem now.
The trail is fucking dust. And the dust cloud got into the tire well. It was amazing.
With the Confederate fucking anthem blaring on the background. Jesus Christ.
A car that whistles Dixie.
I never noticed they were
Ridiculous.
rednecks when I was a small child, ever. We've talked about that before. So
I got a question that was good. I bit my tongue. I'm just gonna say, was Hazard blacklist? Did they have? I don't recall.
I did not see.
I don't remember a black guy in that town.
There was not a black guy in
racist
that
fucking
town.
show with that.
I remember they go to the bar too because
Yeah.
Daisy worked there because someone was always trying to come on to
Right.
Daisy and diddle her and the Duke
Right.
boys would have to step in and that sort of thing.
I think we've covered this before.
We
that
have,
it was,
but no black guys
They needed
in
a lawyer
Hazard.
in that town. That's all they
One
needed.
lawyer.
One lawyer in the whole town.
Excuse me, that entrapment and
What?
the
One
police
Beauregard
corruption.
would have fixed
Done.
that whole fucking town.
Done, man. One lawyer. That was been my thing since the beginning. Jeremy, though, he wants to be a BMX guy. Is what he wants to be, like a bicycle guy. Which in the 70s, that was a pretty kind of a progressive thing to want to do. I want to be like a BMX rider.
Yeah.
That wasn't too popular. That was like a new thing.
I
then.
wanted to do that too, though.
I think every boy wants to do that at some point.
Probably.
They want to do that or skateboard or whatever the hell. So then he goes from there to race go-karts.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of these guys start, the racers. They have to drive something. They go to he goes to the local short tracks, races go-karts, was all around in that area.
Yeah.
He ends up getting a job for for Sadler Brothers Racing. Sure. As a racing team down there, and he's a fabricator. He's building cars basically.
Sadler
putting
Brothers,
shit
was
together.
he racing cars or go-karts at this point?
He's trying to race cars.
Okay.
He raced go-karts as a kid. Now he got a job with an actual race team.
Yep.
He wants to be a driver, but he's got to work his way in. So he starts off as a fabricator, saying, "Hey, I can drive,
Right.
and things like that."
I'll build you a car if you want, but I'd love to drive it for you.
And eventually they do let him drive it. They let him give it a shot. And at age 18 in 1987,
Wow.
he begins driving and wins Rookie of the Year at the Kentucky Motor Speedway.
That's amazing.
That's pretty cool. It's Kentucky Motor Speedway is a 3/8 mile short track in Whitesville, Kentucky. When I bet there's Whitesville right next to Hazard. No black guys there either.
How about, hey, Kentucky, go down the list of towns in your state.
Anything with white in it.
Anything called Whitesville or
bad.
Whitestown or Whiteston.
Whitesburg.
Get it the fuck out.
Yeah.
Rename that
They
shit.
wouldn't have Whitesburg because that would sound too Jewish for them. It's too Jewish, don't you think?
Get that shit
We
out.
want to let them know that there's whites here, but we don't want to sound all Jewy about it. You know what I'm saying? We
Nothing
don't want to do that now.
No,
Put
we
a
don't-
burg
we
on.
don't-
What do
we
you
ain't-
mean?
we ain't allowing no
Whitestein?
bagel
No,
shops.
that ain't happening in here. No, ain't nothing like that. This
Sweet Christ.
It has an infield figure 8 crossover, this
Okay.
track, added in 1981. Apparently, a bunch of guys started there. Daryl and Michael Waltrip started there. The Green brothers, I don't know who they are, but they got their start there, too.
Okay.
Jeff David and Mark Green, do you know who they are?
No.
Idea either. 1993, he joins the ARCA series, ARCA.
Yeah.
You're aware of the ARCA series?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yes.
ARCA stands for Automobile Racing Club of America, which doesn't sound like just sounds like a club. Where
Just sounds like failed NASCAR drivers.
You send $30 a year, and they send you like a pin and a pamphlet once in a while. You're like, oh.
You put it on your dashboard, on your
That's
dash
it. You're
mat.
like, oh, and a sticker you put on your window. It's one of those deals.
ARCA, I got my Ford Falcon.
Yeah, apparently I got my Ford Falcon. Apparently,
It's tits.
they race stock
They
cars.
always call their cars, it's tits.
Yeah, I don't know what I guess because they like tits and they like that car. It's like, what are the two things I like?
Right.
I like tits.
Right.
They're good. I like pork
right.
a lot. And I like cars. Now, I can't compare it to pork, really.
No, I
it's
can't.
A car.
I can't say it's the bacon.
You can't say it's pretty like pork or like bacon, but what is pretty is tits. Now, I like them tits now. That car is pretty like a pair of tits.
I used to go to car shows all the time when I was a kid with my monster of a stepfather, and him and his brother, who was, I guess, my quote-unquote uncle, any car that was pink there, which there was lots of them, because Mopar had the most ugly colors ever, between the blues, the greens, and the pinks, and the purples, and the yellows. They would call every color pink titty pink. And they said that shit in public as I'm 8.
Like that's normal.
Right. Like that's just something you call a car. What do you think of that titty pink one? What are you talking about?
Which one?
Right.
The one next to right next to the dog dick red one. That one. Yeah, right there. You see it.
Titty pink. And meanwhile, there was like a light colored one and then a dark one. And then you're just like, what, you mean the flesh colored one or the nipple? Are you talking about areola pink? Or are you talking about
what about that tank colored one down there? How about that one?
The most uncomfortable. I grew up so white trash that my family said
funny.
shit like that in public.
That's hilarious.
At car shows where people are trying to win trophies.
And come on to women who just want to get a paycheck.
And they're insulting
just
your vehicle.
A car.
Right?
Yeah.
Actually, this is called fuchsia. No, that's titty pink.
That's titty. You're mistaken, sir. Right. So. This ARCA series, they basically race old stock cars.
Okay.
Once NASCAR's done with them, they kick them down to these guys, and it's like minor league stock cars. What it seems like.
They're still fast as shit.
Oh, still fast as fuck. It's just
fast,
they kick it up a little bit. They can't keep one forever, so they get that. They say that ARCA's competitors contain a mix of both professional racers as well as hobby racers alike.
Yep.
In addition to younger competitors, so it's basically like the minor leagues.
Yeah.
Has-beens, never-weres, and possibly maybes.
Right.
That's all it is. He was named Rookie of the Year there also, Jeremy was.
Yep.
So he can race.
He's killing it.
He can drive.
Yeah.
He's got his titty pink car, and he's driving. Now, this is what I mean where you can't go through all the races. This isn't like even a boxer who has 55 fights. I can buzz through, he fought this guy this day, and he won in the second round. And then if there's an interesting fight, we'll talk about it for a minute. But the other ones, 20 seconds, whatever.
Right.
You can't.
There's so many.
In races, 93, only one race. 94, 20 races. 95, 27 races. 96, 30 races. 32, 33, 34, 32. It would be 7 hours of going over every fucking race.
You just chase the season and say where he finished in the season.
That's all we can do, man. Right. So if you really wanted to hear a heavy race-centric episode where
this ain't the one.
It's not. This isn't the show. It's just not possible. It's crime and sports, not sports, and sometimes there's some crime. There's always crime, and that's what we're mainly concerned with. And we do get into the sports. We really do.
Well, even telling where he finished tells you enough about the season.
That's the thing here. It's just too many here. His, I guess, rank would be where he finishes here and everything. And 94 he's 37, 95 he's 31.
Yeah.
He gets all in 98 he's number 7, which is. I guess that's
37?
Good. 7.
Oh, no, that's great.
That's great.
Finishing top 10 is incredible.
Yeah, well, he's 13 in 97. 98, he's number 7.
Okay.
99, he's number 11.
Yeah.
And in 2005, he's number 9.
That's great.
Which is great. And number 10 in 2004. And a lot of the other times he's in the 30s and things like that. But makes a shitload of money, does his thing. But we'll go through some of the stuff here. 93, he makes his Cup debut at the I guess it was Winston Cup then. It was Sprint Cup now. At the 93 Mellow Yellow 500.
Amazing.
You can't get a more white trash event than the Mellow Yellow 500. Starting.
So Days of Thunder.
He started 30th. He finished 29th.
Okay.
Started
30th, finished 29th. But there's so many cars in it.
That's what I mean.
That's
held
pretty
his ground.
impressive still.
He was driving the number 95 Ford Thunderbird.
Got it.
That year.
What year?
This was 93.
Oh, okay.
94. He says he wanted to go for NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And he signs on again to drive the Sadler Brothers car.
Yep.
Ends up switching in 95, switching teams.
Yep.
Goes to Cale Yarborough's team. Goes to Yarborough's here. drives a Ford there, number 98.
Yep.
Finger Hut sponsored.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Finger Hut car.
My mom bought shit from that thing.
Did she really?
Yeah, we had a TV from Finger Hut.
Interesting. He also drove a number 2 car for T.W. Taylor for a few races. His best finish that year is 95 is 19th at Rockingham.
That's not bad.
That year, which isn't terrible here. 95, he's with the Yarborough team for the whole year. The Miller Genuine Draft 500, which beer and mellow yellow and Finger Hut,
and
which
driving,
and
by
driving.
the way. That's, how are you going to, as an alcohol company, how are you sponsoring driving?
That's amazing.
Ridiculous.
I feel bad for the guys who would have to drink milk when they run a race. Like I just ran
500 miles. I just drove.
I've been in the car for fucking 5 hours. You think I want a big chug of milk right now? You out of your
Thank you, Shamrock.
You know how thick my spit is right now? If I drank that, I wouldn't be able to swallow for a week. No fucking way. So 95, he keeps going. He ends 1995 in 26th place, which I guess isn't bad. That sounds good. I'm sorry, 1996 in 26th place there. 1997, he joins the Crane Fuse Haas team. Do you know this team?
Say it again.
Crane Fuse Haas.
No.
In 97.
Who's the car that he's driving?
He's the number 12 car.
Okay, I don't know
for that.
Is it? See, the thing is, so a team can be owned by something, but then the sponsors are other things. So David Letterman owned the Pioneer Honda Red Bull car in Indy, but it didn't say David Letterman on the car. It was all the sponsors.
Yeah. Well, that's the guy who owns. That's the team that owns the car.
So this is the sponsor.
No. That's the Crane Fuse Haas is the team.
Okay, so
that's
I don't know the
sponsor.
team.
I don't know. He's on there. He had 8 top 10s though. He had 2 fifth place finishes. Which isn't bad. And finished number 13 in points that year, as we were talking about. After the season, the team that's Crane Fuse Haas, the Haas half of the team, is his interests are sold to Penske.
No, James, a third.
A third?
Isn't it crazy? Didn't you name 3 guys?
No. Crane Fuse Haas is. Crane Fuse is one guy.
Oh, that's
Crane
a fucking name?
Haas is another name.
Oh, Jesus.
It's Crane Fuss - Haas.
Okay.
That's the team.
Got it.
Haas is Carl Haas.
And he's like, fuck you, Crane fucking whatever the shit.
Later on, Crane Dick.
Right.
Crane
whatever your name is.
Moving on.
Right.
Sold his shit to Penske Racing South. And he got a new car. He's number 12 car now. He's doing that. That year also, he's featured in an Alan Jackson music video.
Get out of here.
Now I know nothing about country music at all. I despise
Isn't the Chattahoochee song?
It's fucking terrible. Especially this Alan Jackson. This is redneck shit here. I'm sorry. I know you guys, a lot of you like it. I don't give a fuck. This isn't like outlaw old school country.
Listen,
this
Alan
is
Jackson's almost close to it.
This is
good.
No.
He's great.
I fucking no.
I love Alan Jackson.
God damn it. Jesus. It's fucking terrible. Jesus, as much
Which
as you
song?
hate all of it.
No,
I
which
can't
one
tell
is
him
he in?
Oh, he's in Who's Cheating Who.
Oh, that's a great song.
Of course it is. Of course, I've never.
Tell me who's cheating who?
I've never ever heard that in my entire life.
That's actually a good one. I like that one.
It sounds just soul sapping.
Boots are next door or something like that.
Jesus
I forget the words.
Christ. See, once you mention boots, I'm out because you're just saying that to mention boots. You know what I mean? You just want to say boots and truck, and there's like a list of like 12 words that needed to be mentioned in the song.
The thing is, I don't. The ones about country the artists that I don't like are the ones that are obviously phonies, and he's not. Like the guy.
No, he seems like a real shit kicker. I'll give him that.
That's why I like him.
That's great.
Fucking Jason Aldean probably sits around in Nike shorts, and that's not you're not country. You're not.
I guess not.
That's not.
But I'd probably get along better with him.
You're probably right. He's probably got a loft in fucking Manhattan.
Yeah,
is my point.
I probably understand him when he speaks.
Right.
Anyway.
Alan Jackson legit probably lives in Alabama, and he probably has a house in Nashville. Like that's a real shit kicker.
If that wasn't enough to give him like redneck fame, you know what I mean? If that wasn't enough to send his name ringing out through trailer parks throughout the land, like Omar's name rings out through a Baltimore ghetto, he also does a Mountain Dew commercial that year too.
Get out of here!
Alan Jackson video and Mountain Dew commercial.
That's a lifestyle, my friend.
I'm sorry, that gets that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You and him.
You may as well put a finger in your cousin because you're on the way.
You are Bo Duke. You are Bo Duke at that point.
Yeah.
Grab your cousin.
Where are you banging Daisy at?
1998, he had the points lead early in the season.
Yeah.
Won his first career race that year. Wins the Pocono 500.
Cool.
And I assume that's in the Poconos in Pennsylvania.
Right.
So, Jesus, good luck there. So hope he stopped off at beautiful Mount Airy Lodge and dealt with one of those. Anybody from the East Coast will know. No one else knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
If you grew up in the 80s and 90s.
People in Oklahoma are like, fuck is James talking about?
If you grew up in the 80s and 90s, you can look it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
And there's commercials that played every 5 seconds on like daytime reruns.
Yeah.
That was for beautiful Mount Airy Lodge over and over and over again. And they would show this couple sitting in a heart-shaped like hot tub.
Perfect.
It was the saddest looking vacation for like middle-aged people who hate their partners and want to try to fucking spice it up again.
Perfect.
We'll go there and I'll pretend you're someone
hot
else.
Tub. That ought to fix all our problems.
Well, we tried having a kid and that didn't work, so now a hot tub will do.
She couldn't get pregnant and she couldn't support life.
Yeah.
My sperm count's too low, so this hot tub is going to substitute a little junior.
It's going to do it. So 1998, he finishes 7th in points, like we said earlier.
Yeah.
1999, he finishes 11 in points, but he has 12 top 10s that year.
That's incredible.
Finishes in the top 10 12 times, which seems great.
Can you imagine trying to be? There's like I forget how. There's a lot of cars. I think it's 60.
There's a shitload of them. It's too many.
It may be more than that.
I have no idea.
I just know I've been to a NASCAR race before and watched that shit. It is confusing.
Yeah, because it's a fucking mess.
You've got to watch the tower in the center of the infield to try to watch who's in
It looks like when everyone's running away in Independence Day, except in cars.
Right.
That's what it is. Just
and then there's people getting lapped.
In and out.
There's people getting off the racetrack to go to the pits. It's really confusing.
It's a terrible
But it's
thing
a lot
here.
of fun. It is, I swear.
In 2000, June 20th, 2000, he has a little run-in with Dale Earnhardt.
Oh, great.
Senior,
yeah.
Before he croaked.
Yeah. Before he murdered him, probably.
Yes, this was at the Pocono 500. What he does is he bumps Earnhardt and fucks him up.
Well, that's what Earnhardt was known for. So
that's exactly what it is here. He would do this. He messed with him a lot.
A little bit of payback.
He said he did the Earnhardt thing to Earnhardt is what he was saying the whole time.
I like it.
Mayfield ends up winning the whole thing here, which they were in the they're less than a half mile from the checkered flag. This says here.
Shit.
This is the whole thing here. They come out of the final turn and Mayfield drops low to the bottom of the track and taps Earnhardt's bumper.
Yep.
And Earnhardt had led for the previous 14 laps.
Holy shit.
And he spins him out.
Can you imagine?
He did that, and Mayfield slammed by him and won the race.
You bet.
And then afterwards he said, quote, "I never tried to wreck him. I just wanted to rattle his cage. I'm not sure I hit him. If there was contact, it wasn't enough to turn him." And I guess rattle his cage is something that Earnhardt says all the time. I wasn't trying to mess anybody, just trying to rattle their cage. It's like when I'm a dick to people, I say that. And so he was trying to
That's the shit that got him killed, though.
Yeah, and Earnhardt wanted to murder him after this, as you might imagine. That
did he chase him in the pits?
I don't think he did, but I think it was only because there was not too much wind resistance on his giant push broom mustache, and he couldn't get through.
He couldn't run across the infield.
That's all it was. Otherwise, he would have got there, but it kept lifting him up off the ground. The wind would get under it. It was disturbing.
That tiny man with that giant mustache.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, he's a weird guy.
So strange looking.
In 2001, he divorces his first wife, or 2000, I apologize.
Mayfield,
he divorces Jeremy, not Dale. I don't know what the hell he did. He died. Dale went on to race some more and then die. So that's the end of that. We wrap up the Dale Earnhardt story. Thanks for listening to Crime and Sports. It's kind of a dick, and then he died.
Something that I see in traffic from time to time that makes me laugh hysterically is the people with... Because his name was the Intimidator. That's what he had on the side of his car. I see people with that on their license plate and like Dale Earnhardt, like rest in peace, in memoriam shit on the back of their car.
What are you doing? Yeah, like they were like it was their cousin.
Right. Who the fuck?
He's on like Redneck Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
that's why.
True.
You're
probably
right.
Like
him, and I don't know.
And Junior too. Like people love Junior, even though he doesn't win anymore, and they still love him.
Jethro from the Beverly Hillbillies and Alan Jackson. That's the.
I'm into Alan Jackson. I'll accept
and they
that.
all have a Mountain Dew in their hand.
Right.
All of them. Which I actually like Mountain Dew. So fuck off, everybody. That throwbacks the shit. So
it's just interesting to see people that enthralled in a guy that's dead. It's like I get it. It's sad, but in memoriam? Like, is his son thanking you for memorializing his dad all over the car you drive to work? You fucking weirdo.
So 2001, he has 2 consecutive third place finishes.
Okay.
But he's released. He's released by the Penske's after the Protection 1-400.
Okay.
He apparently pissed everybody off. That was the rumors are he was a dick.
Yeah.
And he's a bit of a loudmouth and a bit of an asshole. And as we'll find out, he's got a shitload to say.
Really?
This guy's crazy. This is so much fun, this episode.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he drinks an awful lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, well, we'll find out what he does. It's not necessarily drinking. Apparently, he did this on purpose because he wanted to sign a deal with Ray Everham's team, the Everham race team.
Okay.
He had a little feud with Rusty Wallace, who was on his team at that point.
Yeah.
They didn't like each other, apparently. Now, at this point, things are going pretty well for him.
Yeah.
He's moving up in these race teams.
Yeah.
He's winning some races.
Sure.
He's making a lot of money. Mm-hmm. He's getting to be kind of a known. He's trying to get up on that Mount Rushmore.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's got a Mountain Dew in his hand.
Sure.
He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He's climbing the mountain.
Just needs a car. Just needs a ride.
He meets a woman here.
Oh, boy.
He meets Shanna, or Shauna, or Shanna.
It's
however
Shanna.
it is.
You bet it is.
Shanna grew up in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. She said her parents were huge race fans, and they used to go to Darlington, which was an hour away from her. From Myrtle Beach. She said that she was going to college when she met Jeremy. She was a sports management major at Clemson University.
Oh, perfect.
So she was going to school, and she wasn't going to community college.
Right.
She was like going away to university and all that. Her parents were going to a race. When Darlington was there that year, and they said to go with her, and she said no, she doesn't like racing, and they said it's good, it's fun, there's free beer, and she said being a college girl, she was in college.
No.
Free beer. They probably had
How the fuck is there free
who knows
beer?
If they had some kind of tent, if her dad worked for...
Maybe dad's just like, girls always get free beer.
Girls
Come
always
on.
get free beer. Come on. Show them your titties. That's all right.
Pull them out. Let's go.
That's right. So,
I didn't make you female for nothing. Like, I don't know.
I don't know how...
I don't know the situation between the two of them.
I didn't make you female for nothing. So she said she's a college girl.
No, he meant you're coming to show boobs to get me free beer.
Yes,
that's what
you're
he's
not
doing.
having any.
Right.
Sorry. So apparently, the dad got them passes. The dad seems like he's got some.
He's connected somehow.
Some connections. Yeah. They go every year.
Sure.
She can afford to go to Clemson.
Yeah.
Things like that. I don't know how expensive Clemson is, but if
I can't imagine it's cheap.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm
looking at. If you know the college, it's probably steep. You know what I mean? If you've never heard of it, maybe.
And this is 2001. It's not like it was the 70s or anything. It's going to be.
It's steep.
Yeah, exactly. So she goes there. What they end up doing is they're getting ready for. They have a happy hour thing there, and I guess Jeremy was there by his car, and she said he had a helmet on, but she sees that he was waving at her apparently from the car with his helmet on and everything. And she said, "Who's waving at me?" And the parents were like, "Well, he's clearly waving at you and not us. So why don't you wave back or whatever and see what happens?" I would have been like, "Quit waving at my fucking daughter, pervert!" Even though she's 21, still don't fucking wave at her in front of me, asshole. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about one of our sponsors.
eHarmony.com.
eHarmony.com. You've all tried the online dating, I'm sure.
It's the worst. It's so difficult.
It's tough. You never know what people are up to, their intentions. It's a lot of hookups.
Right.
It's a lot of just...
It's a lot of garbage that you got to put up with.
Seems like a lot of garbage to put up with. Dead-end conversations, random people. And you got to really sift through a lot. Don't do that.
No,
do this the smart way.
Yes.
Do this the scientific and smart way.
Correct.
Go to eHarmony.com.
Right.
We are both married, so this was not a product that we could ourselves use.
Right.
So what we did was we gave our subscription, the sponsor subscription, to one of our listeners.
Correct.
A nice woman who was looking for somebody and said, "You know what? I'll give it a shot."
Sure.
And she said that she is having a good time with it. She likes being able to know that the matches that are going to come at her, she has some kind of confidence in them, that these aren't just random people who saw a picture and swiped a direction.
Right.
This is a different thing. This is for a more meaningful, long-lasting relationship, not a shallow hookup. They've helped over 1 million people find their perfect match. They use years and years of science data, psychological research, and everything else to send you only the right matches. eHarmony brings compatible people together. There's plenty of hookup sites out there. That's not what this is here. Right now, our listeners listeners can get a free month with eHarmony, a whole month, when they sign up for a 3-month subscription. Just enter the code CIS at checkout. Stop waiting and start your journey to a satisfying, meaningful relationship. It can be fun to play around with online dating apps, but when you're ready to fall in love with someone and have a meaningful relationship, there's only one app that's built to bring you real love: eHarmony. Come see how eHarmony can change your life. Go to eHarmony.com to get started. Just enter the code CIS at checkout.
eHarmony.com and CIS at checkout.
That's all you have to do.
I love it. Back to the show.
So they said, she said, well, if he's not cute, then that's not going to be good. So she was worried about all that.
Oh, what a shallow woman.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's a college kid. She said, after the way she put it, that after practice, he was walking around and he came up and saw them. And she said he had the prettiest smile and the biggest blue eyes.
Yep.
Came up and introduced himself, and he was so sweet. He said something so funny that I just laughed and laughed. And I just thought, what a cool guy. And,
I don't like her.
No, she's pretty down, though. I'll say that for her over the years.
But here's the thing. If he wasn't handsome...
Oh, yeah, she would have had no interest in him
Steve
whatsoever.
Buscemi has bright blue eyes, too,
matter.
honey.
Yeah, if Steve Buscemi got out of that car, she'd have gone back to Clemson.
Goodbye.
She'd have gone back to Clemson with smoke coming off her heels from fucking running as fast as she can. She would have stole his stock car because it's faster.
He was so funny.
Get away.
You mean handsome. Stop it.
Yeah, exactly. So she gave him her number, and they went back and forth. I guess they talked a little bit. She wasn't around much, and he was out racing all the time.
Right.
She said he didn't understand what college life was like, and he didn't get that. She didn't understand what racing was like. So they kind of kept in touch over the phone for like a year. They didn't see that much of each other, but then it started to progress from there, and they'll end up being together, which we'll talk about for a minute. In 2002, he's still on the Evernham Motorsports team. This is owned by Ray Evernham, and we'll talk about that because he has some beef with him, and there's some interesting words exchanged that are pretty goddamn funny.
You know, I didn't realize how few teams I actually know. I know I can picture the car, I can picture the sponsor. When I have the sponsor, I can almost see the number. But when you're saying names,
that's
I don't
like
fucking
saying
know shit.
That's like saying who owns the Atlanta Falcons or whatever.
Yeah,
we know that because it's Arthur Blank. It's the Home Depot guy, but he's a famous one. But if I said who owns the goddamn, I'm trying to think of
who owns the Tampa Bay Bucks?
Who owns the Tennessee Titans?
No fucking clue.
No fucking clue. There you go. Right
Tennessee.
There.
I think Tennessee owns them.
They're owned by the city. I have no goddamn. The whole state owns them.
Right.
No clue.
I don't know
Alan
who
Jackson.
owns the Tampa Bay.
Alan Jackson. He owns the Tampa. He owns
that was
Tennessee
so funny.
Titans.
That just surprised the fuck out of me.
Alan Jackson every time.
And he just comes out every game. Who's cheating? Who?
That's it. Jesus Christ.
And Mayfield spins donuts on the center of the field.
Oh, my God. So he's driving the number 19 car.
Okay.
It's a Dodge. In his first year with them,
What year?
This is 2002.
Okay, so it's an Intrepid. I think it's a Dodge Intrepid that year. Yeah,
that's ugly.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
He had 4 top 10s and finished 26th in points that year. January 4th, 2003, he marries Shanna.
Okay.
So this isn't bad. Things haven't gone bad yet. Yeah. So he's not breaking any rules. He's getting married on the upswing. Yep. This is fine. You can do that. He appears on the Pyramid Show as a celebrity. Remember the $25,000 pyramid with Dick Clark?
That guy, that'll get you on there as a celebrity?
Apparently. Well, this isn't back up for 1 second. Okay. I said, remember the one with Dick Clark?
Yeah.
This isn't the one with Dick Clark.
Right. Who was the host? Regis?
Worse. Way worse. Way worse. Hold on.
Oh, my God. Is it Donny Osmond?
You bet your
You're
goddamn
right
Donny
it
Osmond.
is.
Actually, Jimmy, the host is Alan Jackson. I apologize. It's Alan Jackson. That's who the host is. He hosted it for many years. Nothing ever got done because all he did was sing.
I forgot Donny Osmond hosted that fucking show.
This is the reboot.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll get whoever we can get. That guy drives in this NASCAR.
Alan Jackson's actually a step up from Dick Clark. Oh, that's huge.
Well, yeah, Alan Jackson's at least. Donny Osmond, anybody's a step up from Donny. I don't know what he does or what his talent is.
Alan Jackson would have been the greatest host ever for this edition with a fucking NASCAR driver on it.
No shit. Donny Osmond sang back in the day, didn't he?
Did.
Oh, God, that's terrible.
Fingered his sister or some shit.
A lot of sister fingering in this episode. Crime and sports. Crime and sports. Come for the crime, stay for the sister fingering, everybody. Come on back. See us next week. So
Sweet fuck.
He's on the pyramid show as a celebrity. He hangs out with Donny Osmond. Donny probably tries to convert him to Mormonism. I think he rejects it. He wins. He improves 2003. Okay. He wins the pole at the Aaron's 499.
Great.
They couldn't get that extra lap in there.
That's amazing.
They're like, fuck it, 499 is all we got. Shit. We can't fucking do it. We're late today.
But he got the pole position. That's incredible. So he's starting the race in first place.
He posted 12 top 10 finishes. Finishing 19th total in points, which still seems pretty solid. 19th out of everybody here. 2004. He wins again. He wins the Chevy Rock and Roll 400.
Don't know where that is.
No fucking. I'm sure they've changed
probably
it
Detroit.
10 times. Yeah, probably. That moves his team into the 9th spot in the chase for the Cup.
Where's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Cleveland. Maybe that's where it is.
Yeah.
There you go. That makes sense. Yeah. I'll take that.
Okay.
It's in Cleveland, everybody. If it's not, we don't care at all. So please don't tweet us about it. Don't fucking care. So,
doesn't matter. You can say it all you want. That email's coming.
Still doesn't matter. We don't care. He finishes 10th in points.
Okay.
Now, he won the race that pulled them into the 9th spot for the chase for the Cup. Okay. Now, for a while, they said, and I don't know how true this is, but this is in some racing article that then somebody copied onto Wikipedia.
Right.
I found it in a racing article, then I read it on Wikipedia. I was like, God damn it, I dug deep for that. It's right in the fucking... So I don't look at Wikipedia till the end to make sure I didn't miss like a major thing, like a life event or something. So they called winning a race to get into the Chase Cup, whatever, as pulling a Jeremy Mayfield. I don't know if that's... Apparently did this more than once.
Fascinating.
And
this got him into the top 10?
This got him into this got him into the 9th spot in the chase. I guess there are only 10 spots or whatever, and then everybody beyond that
top
can go
10
fuck
finishes
themselves.
Is the ones that matter.
It's like the basketball playoffs. If you're like 14th,
more
you can eat
less.
shit.
Yeah.
Now, let's say he's doing well. New bride, good career, everything's going well. Can we say it now? This is grace.
This is it.
This is grace.
Oh, boy.
He still has some good
so
times.
Early.
He still has some good times, a little bit, but this is when cracks start to appear. And then after that, the floodwaters break that wall down, and oh boy, are we awashed in just a sea of shit. Let's do this. That was
You're
Grace.
telling me that the sewer pipes are behind the walls?
Oh,
They're going to break.
They are not underground. They are bursting.
All right.
Bursting. 2005, he wins the GFS Marketplace 400. That rolls off the tongue.
Jesus.
And finished 9th in the standings. But in August 2006, he's released from the Evernham team. Okay.
And that was Penske, correct?
I'm sorry?
That was the Penske-sponsored car?
This is the no. That was the Penske
That was another
team.
one. Okay.
Penske had a team, not a sponsor of a car. They were a team.
They also sponsor a car.
I'm sure, but they were a team though too. Right. And then he went from there. He went to the Evernham team. So they release him. Evernham replaces him with Bill Elliott, and then Elliott Sadler. So basically, they said we need somebody with Elliott in their fucking name.
No
first,
doubt.
last, we don't care. We tried a last name Elliott. Can we get a first name?
Those are
Elliott
two
in here?
great racers, though.
Oh, they replaced him with them. So that was August 8th, 2006. He's dropped from the team. The 19 team fell out of the top 35 in points, and that's what they gave the reason for his release.
Yeah.
But there's also more than that. Okay. Later on, even Evernham admits that most of his release was because Mayfield couldn't keep his fucking mouth shut about Evernham, and he talked constant shit about him. Yeah, he said he was never at the track that often.
Who cares?
He said he didn't pay any fucking attention.
Who gives a shit?
He said you need to pay attention to the racing team.
Yeah, but if your car's running, who gives a shit?
I don't know how the dynamics of a race team work, but I'm sure the guy in charge probably... I don't know.
The CEO rarely knows what the frontline employee is doing.
Yeah,
you know
but
what
I
mean?
don't think this is a CEO type of guy, probably. It's
maybe
probably
not.
a little different. He's more into race cars and shit.
It's still the CEO of the fucking company. Your driver is your fucking fryolator. You know what I mean?
But
he's
I think
replaceable.
he's like saying that a general manager never watches the football games. It's like, how the fuck does he know what's going on or who's performing well if he's never there?
He's got people to tell him.
But he's got a reason why here. He said that Mayfield said that the problems stemmed from a lack of attention from Evernhern because, mainly due to a, quote, close personal relationship with a developmental driver, a female named Erin Crocker.
Okay.
So that's what he's saying. He's like, you're too busy fucking
looking at
Erin Crocker and you don't pay attention to the team, asshole. So that's why I was saying that. He's saying that that's all you're paying attention to, and you're not paying attention to anybody else's racing.
I could understand.
And we're dropping in the standings, and it's because of you.
Okay.
Get your dick in your pants and don't worry about it. Evernhern's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
I just think that's a
you
good...
never heard of affirmative action. I'm trying to support
it's a
women's
good young
rights.
driver.
Right.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. We'll find out how that works out later on. Yeah, he said, Mayfield said that Evernham was not with the Cup cars most weeks because of the extensive attention that he was giving Crocker and her number 98 truck team.
Okay.
It's some truck team that wasn't...
Oh, Jesus.
That's what I mean.
He's
paying attention to that because he likes this.
He's not even
girl.
paying attention to his sport that makes the money. Truck racing doesn't make that much money.
No,
your NASCAR team makes the money.
He ran a couple of the Truck Series races in 2006. Ran the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. He ran 2 races in that. It seems very stupid here.
It's boring. It's just not as fun.
No.
A truck's not as fast as a car.
No.
It's just the fact.
2007, he signs another contract to drive a Toyota Camry, number 36 car,
I forgot when
with Bill Davis Racing. Then in August of 2007, it's announced that they're going to part ways at the end of the season again. So he's just in and out here. 2007, a crazy YouTube video comes out of Jeremy Mayfield blowing shit up.
Really?
It's just insane.
He's that guy now.
He's blowing shit up. It's a crazy YouTube video. Basically, this doesn't help that he's considered kind of a loose cannon, and this isn't helping any.
No.
He's talking super fast, by the way. And I mean, he's talking like that. And they even say he's doing his best Hunter Thompson impersonation because that's what he fucking sounds like. If you ever heard Hunter Thompson, he's just going to mumble like this. He's doing that, but he's just talking super fast. But they're saying Hunter Thompson not for his speech, but because
for what fueled it.
If you've ever seen a Hunter Thompson documentary, he goes on his property, blows shit up, and shoots shit, and that's fun for him, you know? He moved in the mountains till he could blow shit up.
He's an eccentric weirdo.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So this is him doing that, setting off explosives, trying to scare someone who's shooting a gun to make them which is dangerous as fuck.
That's
Don't do that.
stupid.
He explodes a gas can.
Jesus.
So he blows that up, and he blows up a watermelon just to get his stupid Gallagher shit in there. So
always got to have a watermelon.
Yeah, this is a video that idiot 16-year-olds would make.
Yeah.
And you'd go, Jesus Christ,
Where's
Timmy,
your
what the fuck is
supervisor?
wrong with you? So he does that. Obviously doesn't look, by the way, he attempts to eat the watermelon shards afterwards like a fucking moron. Just look how crazy I am.
Right. Unless it's soaked in rum, fucking throw it out.
Unless it's rum ham.
Right.
So this is fucking nuts right away. Right there, I would say. That whole thing seems a little batty to be doing that shit.
It's cause for alarm.
It's cause for alarm. Where you're like, this guy doesn't seem like an adult,
right?
You know, because I mean,
we're trusting that man with a very fast machine with other people on the track and their safety in mind.
That's what I'm saying. He's like 38 years old
and we
at
get
this point.
Reckless fuck behaving like a 16-year-old.
He's not 23. He's 38 years old. Like, would you do that in your
No.
yard and film it and put it on YouTube?
No.
Especially if you're a public figure like this? Jesus, nobody gives a fuck what we do, but this guy's on television every goddamn week, you know? We can do whatever we want.
And we gotta pretend to have a stable fucking life. Like, that's not what you put on the internet to portray a put-together character.
Well, Shanna has defense for it, though.
Okay.
She says, look, it's a...
He has sparkling blue eyes. He's hilarious. Did you see his smile?
She says that, quote, blowing things
Shallow
up.
Bitch.
Blowing things up is a tradition that dates back to his childhood. All he's ever done is blow shit up. This is what I mean. Earlier, I'm thinking he was blowing shit up.
That's a wife.
She said
She's terrific.
She said, quote, it was fun for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and now he's just absolutely about to drive me crazy. He's just got so much energy built up inside him. He's definitely a little bored. That's what people say about ADD 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds that are home for the summer from school. The first 2 weeks, it was fun.
Right.
We played games, we colored all the time, but now he's about to drive me fucking crazy. He's bouncing off the walls. He's just, the little guy's got so much energy built up
I'm
inside
blaming
him.
her for this.
I can't wait till September.
This is her job to subdue this, by the way.
Fuck. Well, this poor, she has no chance.
No.
Okay, now here's where things really start to unravel.
Occupy that man, lady.
that's the cracks.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's some cracks, and you can see that some shit's not right. Now there's some chunks breaking out.
Okay.
September 5th, 2007, Terry Mayfield, Jeremy's father, dies.
Oh, shit.
Okay. This death is ruled a suicide in
what?
2 separate investigations.
Okay.
It's ruled a suicide. So they have the funeral. The funeral was held September 7th at 3 p.m. At the Raymer Funeral Home in Hunterville, North Carolina, with Reverend Max Helton officiating.
You dug so deep.
Hey, I want to get people there. Get to Hunterville, North Carolina, damn it. Reverend Max Helton's there.
He's
Do I
waiting
fucking
on
need
you.
to say more? He's next to Alan Jackson in the fucking Mount Rushmore. It's the Earnhardts and Alan Jackson and this guy, Reverend Max Helton and Mountain Dew man, whoever that is.
Just a can of Mountain Dew is up
it's
there.
the Yahoo Mountain Dew prospector guy on the side of that guy. So his father dies. He hires a private investigator. Okay, he doesn't think his father killed himself, and he's not going to fucking take that for an answer.
So is he like now a conspiracy theorist?
Now, he's got a conspiracy theory, right? He tells a sheriff's investigator that his stepmother, Lisa, killed his father.
Oh,
That's
boy.
what he thinks.
That's going to make a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Oh, wait till you see the Thanksgiving they have. And it actually happens in November, too. It's a little early for Thanksgiving. But when she shows up, you go, all she needs is a turkey in her hand or a pie, and she needs a custard pie, and everything's going to be fine. So Jeremy tells the sheriff's investigator that he believes that Lisa killed his father. He has evidence that she had an affair. She spent large sums of money, and there should be an investigation by the police over whether his father had been murdered, is what he was saying. Now, Lisa, the stepmother, Lisa Mayfield, has repeatedly, in court documents, depositions to the press, under oath, everything she can do, has denied any involvement with Terry Mayfield's death.
Like you do.
Like you would do. Said in a deposition that she already did have an affair with another man, but it was over. She ended it a long time ago. Terry never found out about it. It never came up. She said that now, but after Terry's dead, she says this, but then she ends up living with the guy who she had an affair with. So she ends up going with him, which, I mean...
Doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good, but then you look older people who she doesn't fucking probably know a lot of people to hook up with.
And she's probably devastated.
Yeah, I mean, they're in their 60s, for Christ's sake. My grandmother, racist grandma, not badass grandma, racist grandma, when my grandfather died, like a couple of years later, she just started hanging out with like one of the guys that he was friends with, and because they were both alive.
Right.
That was it. It's like, hey, you're alive, I'm alive too. We should sit together and watch TV at night.
We
All
should
right.
sit together and complain about our pains.
I doubt they were fucking or anything, but they were like hanging out and doing things.
Man, it's possible.
She killed that man, by the way. Racist grandma killed a man. I swear to Christ. She killed his brother first. She did. She was moving her stuff. She was moving from this condo to a house, and rather than hire a mover, she has money too. That's the thing. She's sick in the fucking head. Rather than hire a mover, she's so cheap, it's a disease. She made her 83-year-old boyfriend and his 86-year-old brother help her fucking move. The guy's carrying a small desk thing down the stairs. His brother drops dead of a fucking heart attack right on the steps.
Well, yeah,
he's 86 years old. He shouldn't be having this guy help you move. And she was pissed. She didn't even get finished with her move. Like, that's how cold-blooded she is.
Sweet Pete. She is a fucking firecracker.
This happens. So, but I mean, old people is what I'm getting at. If they just go with, I know a guy, I know that person, we should, talk because we're both alive still.
We have shit to reminisce about, too.
We can talk about the Lawrence Welk show, and, I don't know, they were both 85 goddamn years old.
Lawrence Welk.
So, she lived with
Andrew Jackson. Not Andrew Jackson, Alan Jackson.
Alan Jackson.
I think he was found there.
I think he
was discovered on the Lawrence Welk show.
Right there.
Go on.
Oh man! The police reopen the investigation. They have it's in consultation with the district attorney. The whole deal. It remains that the death was a suicide by a single gunshot to the chest.
That's why he's questioning it.
Yeah,
it's rare.
A lot of people do
happens,
that.
but
people
it's
do
just
that all
rare.
the time. They don't want to. They don't want to put it to their head. I'm sure.
So he's probably going with the fact that he's shot in the chest, and she's shacking up with another dude that she had an affair with.
Must have
Those
done
things
that.
are too much for a guy that blows shit up.
Exactly. He can't handle it. We'll find out why his thoughts are a little flighty, too.
He can't
He's got issues
Yeah.
here. What he does is he stops paying the mortgage on the house that
she was living in.
Her dad and his dad and Lisa lived in, and the house was foreclosed on.
Shit.
They also... He fought with Lisa, the stepmother, about how the father's belongings should be divided.
Yeah.
It was a battle. It's not even close to over. Holy shit, does it get epic here. He's still racing there. He's racing for Haas CNC Racing here. He ends up driving in the number 70 car at the beginning of the 2008 season. By the way, this Haas is no relation to the Carl Haas before. This is Gene Haas, who's a different guy.
There's so many Haas's.
There's a lot of Haas's.
There's a lot of white trash in that last name.
There really is. 2008 season, he completes 7 races. His best finish is 16th, though, that year before he is released from the team. So he's released from the team. He's got to go figure something else out. I found an interesting thing here. That year at the 2008 Barrett-Jackson car auction, which is a big auction here in Phoenix and Scottsdale, it sells a big thing. They sold his a car of his, the number 12 car, Ford Taurus race car, a NASCAR car owned by Penske Racing or whatever,
128 or something
driven
like
by him. It's a number 12 car, 850 horsepower. Was sold for $40,700.
That's cheap.
That doesn't seem that bad.
I was guessing around 130 grand.
Yeah, you can't get a fucking Honda Pilot for that price. No. That's not bad, as you know,
right?
Because you've had one for a while now. Yeah. So January 2009, Jeremy says, "I don't have a team." He announces he's going to attempt a self-owned Toyota team for a full season. He's going to use the number 41. He's going to the Daytona 500. He said, and all that. So
he's going to build his own, like the Jamaican bobsled team or some shit.
He's going to build his own. Yes, exactly.
Jesus, he's going to get John Candy to sponsor his team.
Kentucky, we've got the bobsled team. That's what he's doing. So he's doing that. After he has 10 races, he only qualifies for 5 of them in the 09 season, so it's not going great so far. And May 1st, it gets much, much worse. May 1st, 2009, he fails a drug test. He fails a drug test. Not terrific. It's a drug test for methamphetamines. Is what he fails for.
You mean like the kind of drugs
shit that makes
fuel
talk fast,
right? Fuels your speech and mumble and makes you blow shit up,
that sort of thing. Yeah. He says this is May 1st. He successfully drives practice laps at Richmond International Raceway, and this is from court documents because this shit gets heavy later. He does these in preparation for the race the next day. At the conclusion of the practice session, a NASCAR official instructed Jeremy to report to the trailer for random drug testing, as they do inside the trailer. And by the way, this whole strict drug thing was pretty new for NASCAR at this point because they just never had any real problems with that. I'm sure the guys were just alcoholics and God knows what.
Well, I think that Kevin Harvick was the one that kind of initiated this stuff because that guy's a fucking menace.
Maybe I'm not sure. I
may be wrong.
And it's funny too because I looked in and I had all this resources that I was going to go into kind of the NASCAR and how they did their policy, and there's just no fucking time to do it.
So many guys.
None of it's included. There's no way.
There's so many of them with DUIs, and it's like what. You drive for a living. Like that's like the FedEx guy getting a DUI. What are you doing? You're an idiot. Why would you do that when that's exactly you have to be in a driver's seat to make your paycheck. To pay your mortgage, that's what you do. And you're going to get a fucking DUI. You're an idiot.
That's a fucking fact.
And there's so many of them with him.
So he goes inside the trailer. They tell him about the procedure. They tell him he's going to piss in a cup. They tell him to get the cup. He says that he's told to select a urine sample cup from a cluttered, non-sterilized table, is what he says. He says he told the collector, the urine collector, that's some job for you. I'm the collector, and he holds your hand out and someone pisses in it. Collecting. He said he'd taken...
Don't spill any water.
He said he tells him he's taken 2 Claritin D pills within the past 24 hours.
He's already making the story.
He's making this exactly.
You betcha.
He tells the collector guy tells Mayfield that he needs to inform the NASCAR people about the use of Claritin D and whatever. They'll figure that out. The collector tells Mayfield he's got to step into a restroom, tells him to piss in the cup there. Mayfield says the area was neither secure or sterilized, which, sterilized or not, unless there's meth falling into the piss, I don't understand what the difference is. It's piss. It's not
You think
blood.
there's going to be a splash
it's
of
not
piss from
DNA.
somebody? Right.
This isn't DNA where it's like, oh, it's a little corrupted.
Right.
It's meth.
Right.
Is there meth rocks falling from the ceiling? Is it that bad?
Maybe there's so much
How
meth
dirty is
piss
this
all
place?
over this bathroom, a drop's going to fall from the ceiling. You know?
Yeah.
Is there a meth addict hosing down that bathroom?
Maybe that's what it is. Pissing everywhere.
It's got to be
dripping from the ceiling. That's
you know what
the
I
problem.
just thought of real quick? That maybe these guys just think I drive sober at 200 miles an hour.
This is
beers,
easy.
yeah, I can
It's
drive.
fucking boring.
This truck is. I'm doing 40. I can drink a 12-pack and be fine.
And honestly, the reaction time these guys have in racing is like, it's not normal reaction time that me or you would have or normal people. So they probably could drink enough to slow the reaction time half
and still drive
normal.
much better than me.
And still drive much better than us. That's probably a fact. But still,
right. But it doesn't
like
make it any more legal.
It's like the old Doug Stanhope joke, is you should have a driver's test and see how drunk you're allowed to drive at. You know, maybe for you it's 0.10, maybe for me it's 0.707. Who knows? So May 7th, he's told of his failed test. He gives an excuse that it's a combination of prescription pills.
Yeah. Boy, is he loaded with the excuses.
He's got a lot of excuses here. Now, other drivers, because he's saying I just did that, and other drivers have no reason to not believe him, so they're getting scared too. Other guy, Mark Martin, said everybody's a little nervous about this right now. The small number of drivers I talked to are on edge right now based on what happened to Jeremy and not knowing what we're allowed to take.
Yeah.
So they're thinking he failed to drive.
They believe him.
Yeah, they're thinking he failed to.
He got a false positive.
They're scared to take multivitamins. Drivers say they're scared to take protein shakes because they don't know what's going to trigger this test here.
They're dumb.
The head of the NASCAR's whole deal here, this France guy, we're going to talk to him a few times in the future. Jeremy's going to have some words for him. He says, quote, if you should test positive for over-the-counter medications or a prescribed medication that you are on with your doctor, that doesn't result in a NASCAR suspending you. You will be asked to explain why you have a certain substance that was identified in a test. That's happened a lot, and it doesn't get you in a suspension.
Okay.
He said a combination of over-the-counter and prescription drugs do not somehow create a prohibited drug that magically appears in the body. That's what I'm talking about.
That's hysterical.
And that's the same thing you get with DNA.
Yeah.
Where it's like the making a murderer thing, where it's like, well, that sample was contaminated, so now it says it's him.
Right.
Well, that
doesn't make sense.
No level of contamination makes it come up somebody else's DNA. It would come up inconclusive. But people don't realize that in the jury. They sit there and think, oh, shit. No,
that's crazy.
Yeah. It's like contaminated or not. If it had his DNA in it.
It still is.
It's done. Now, if they think it was contaminated because they planted his DNA in it, that's another case.
Then you got a different story.
That's another thing. But anyway.
But if you think this piss sample is contaminated because somebody put meth in it, then okay, yeah. But listen, NyQuil and Claritin don't create
make meth together. No. It's like, well, I take a little, antidepressant there. I take Paxil and I take Claritin D. Oh, that's meth together in your body. In your body, that forms methamphetamine. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't know that. Yeah, it's the exact chemical compound for meth. The same one the Nazis made. It's that meth.
I'm surprised you didn't know that.
Good old-fashioned Nazi meth is what that is. That's the good stuff from back then. They gave that to Hitler. Tell you that right now. Nothing but the best.
So good.
Another Cousin Eddie. Yeah. So anyway, the drivers, a lot of people said the drivers are saying they want a list of banned shit, which honestly,
that's what I would do. Yeah.
Give me a fucking list of what I'm allowed to take, what I'm not allowed to take. And some of them, people like Dale Earnhardt Jr. just seems like such an asshole for saying this. He seems like it. He said, quote, nobody deserves no list. Nobody deserves no list. Nobody should be able to be told what they're allowed to not take in their job. They should just fucking... I hate people like that. He says, don't do drugs. Don't do stupid stuff. It's stupid to do it anyways, regardless if you're driving or racing cars or not. It's a dumb idea. Just don't be ignorant. How about tell me if I'm allowed to take allergy medication, you redneck shit-kicking fuckhead? How's that, you dumb fuck? I'll get up there with a chisel and scrape you off that mountain, you dickhead.
That's Junior going, and don't vaccinate your kids.
Exactly. Nobody needs you just live in a rural area.
When's the last time you even heard of somebody with polio?
Keep them on your farm. It'll be fine. Just keep them on the farm. Wow.
Eat shit, Junior.
In
the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Look better, feel better.
Yeah.
And now back to the show.
Podcast One is your home for the biggest names in pro wrestling. We've got the Animal, Dave Bautista, with Jim Ross on the Ross Report.
I don't want to do a one-off. I want to go and I want to wrestle. You know, I want to be a part of the program, and I love it.
The longest-reigning WWE Divas champion, Nikki Bella, with Lillian Garcia.
There's that excitement, and when you have a great match, you're like, oh my God, that's how you feel when you have a great dance with someone.
Hard-hitting wrestling journalism with Wade Keller.
Find out not just what's happening, but also decoding why it's happening and whether it's good for fans and the bottom line.
And the unfiltered and unpredictable thoughts of Vince Russo.
They dictate to us what is considered big time.
Get all these podcasts and more exclusively on the new Podcast One app, podcastone.com, and on Apple Podcasts.
So yeah, they said Mayfield requested that his B sample be tested. The whole deal. He's like, this is bullshit, but the B sample comes back same shit. So whatever. So May 9th, 2009, he's suspended indefinitely by NASCAR for failing the test. He says, in my case, I believe that the combination of prescribed medicine and over-the-counter medicine reacted together and resulted in a positive drug test. My doctor and I are working with both Dr. Black and NASCAR to resolve this matter.
Okay.
All good. I'm good now.
I'm good now.
It's totally fine. NASCAR spokesman said Jim Hunter said there's no place for substance abuse in our sport.
Yeah.
God damn it. NASCAR also suspended 2 crew members for failed tests at the same race.
How about that?
There were Tony Martin and Ben Williams were these poor crew members that now everybody knows their name and they're not even famous.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
But they're out there doing drugs with their driver.
Sorry. Yeah, that was dumb. So Mayfield, he's got a team. He's got sponsors. Now he's responsible for these sponsors.
Right.
And he's like, oh, fuck, this isn't going to look real good here.
Right.
A lot of, like I said, the drivers, Jimmy Johnson comes out and says, no clue what it is. The policy is in place. If you use something that's illegal as far as the substance abuse policy, you get in trouble. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not taking a fucking side, basically. I don't know what happened. I don't know shit. Now, while the B practice was getting sampled, he was still running practice sessions and shit, because that's kind of like an appeal process, I guess, at that point. The NASCAR people said that he can return to NASCAR only after he completes a, quote, path for reinstatement that's tailored to each individual. Can include rehab and varies depending on the person and the substance and their amount of times, blah, blah, blah. The suspension cannot be appealed, though. He has to
serve it.
He has to serve it and do what they say to get back in. They also tell him that the race at Lowe's Motor Speedway, even though he's going to put another driver into his number 41 Toyota car, they said that it cannot be entered with Mayfield as the owner.
Oh.
He can't even...
He can't be a part of this at all.
Not allowed to race, not allowed to do shit.
That's because he's benefiting financially if he wins.
Yeah, they don't want
him.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. So May 29th, 2009, he files a lawsuit against NASCAR.
Oh?
He sues NASCAR. He sues its owner, Brian Zachary France, who's the France guy we talked about here. Sues the drug testing company for defamation, unfair and deceptive trade practices, breach of contract, and negligence. He's not fucking around.
Playing devil's advocate, that's the lawsuit you file if you're innocent.
That's what you have to do. You have to throw it all out there. He basically says he wants to make the July 4th Daytona race, and he needs an injunction by Wednesday to be able to do this. His attorney here says, quote, Mayfield has already been publicly accused, tried, and convicted by NASCAR, even though he has done nothing wrong. As a result, Mayfield and his team have lost and will continue to lose crucial advertising, sponsorship, and business opportunities. His sponsor now refuses to honor its commitments. Smaller corporate sponsors that Mayfield worked with successfully in the past will no longer do business with him either. Bad shit just happens. That's bad stuff. No, so if he didn't do meth, this is fucking bad for him.
This is a big deal.
NASCAR countersues him on June 5th. They claim that Mayfield had... that he's lying. It's an additional. They just have to file a suit back here. He's lying. They say it's meth. They also include affidavits from Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Robbie Gordon. These are all top drivers. That they are, quote, not willing to put my life at risk. Driving a race car on a NASCAR track with drivers testing positive for drugs that diminish their capacity to drive a race car.
I like it.
If NASCAR is forced to allow drug user to race in its events, such driver may cause serious injuries, including fatalities to NASCAR's fans.
There you go.
I'm trying to say that. It would take a simple lapse of judgment by a driver under the influence of a banned substance to create a catastrophic accident.
Yeah.
If anybody should be... If you're playing basketball, I don't give a shit what you're on. What's the worst that could happen?
Who gives a fuck?
What are you going to do? Hit your head on the rim? I don't give a fuck.
You're driving 200 miles an hour.
200 miles an hour.
That if you hit
I don't want you to drink beer yesterday. Fucking focus.
You hit the wall at a funny angle and that car goes up in the air. It's going so fast, wind will make that thing fucking fly.
Oh, absolutely.
And it will go over the rail and into the crowd, and that's dangerous.
Shit is a little dangerous.
If you've been to a NASCAR race, you're basically on the fucking track. You are so close.
It's right there. People die at NASCAR races. They really
right
do.
There.
He really wants to race in Daytona. And all the years he's raced there, his best finish was a 6th place in 1999.
That's not bad.
No, a lot of 20s. 28, 20, 22, 24, 26. A lot of those. So that's not really his track anyway. June 26, 2009, in an effort to save his ass, he transfers ownership of his car of his team to his wife Shanna.
Okay,
because she she can own it.
She can race it.
So that's what it is.
I mean, she can pay somebody to race it.
yeah. They get JJ Yelly as the driver. Shanna said, quote, when Jeremy started this thing from the beginning, our goal was to run all season, and that hasn't changed. We have our race sponsors with All Sport and a small sponsor behind us. We're moving on like that, and it's just another race weekend.
She's great.
That's what I mean. She's tough. She said,
Jesus.
She says, quote, of course it's a lot different. It's going to be a whole different attitude mentally from all the guys. We've just got to move on and act like it's any other weekend, and we'll go racing.
She said through bloody gums.
She said exactly.
Is she doing meth with him too? Because she is such a fucking gamer.
She's a gamer. She maintains her husband did nothing. I don't think she knows what he does.
Okay.
I think he goes out and she's like, I don't know. He's outside doing something. He's smoking meth and blowing shit up, and she's
like,
she's watching movies and like drinking a glass of wine. Like, I don't know what he does.
Sweet tea.
I don't know. Yeah, sweet tea. What are we talking about? Yeah, she's from South Carolina. Yeah. She maintains his innocence. She keeps saying that. She says that they missed like 4 races, and she said it was financial issues is why. They end up missing races in the future here. She said small sponsors. Mayfield says he's been forced to lay off 10 employees. They've had to borrow money from family and sell personal assets to meet their living expenses. He says, quote, Jeremy says, quote, I do not understand how or why this is happening to me or my family. I have always anticipated that I would be able to race for another 10 years, but I believe my career will effectively be over if I am forced to sit out the rest of this season.
Yeah.
I'm afraid that I will have to sell my race team, and I know of no other way to make a living except as a professional race car driver. He gives a statement in an affidavit here in the court filing. Let's do it in their own words here.
Great.
Let's see what he has to say in their own words. Quote, I have never taken methamphetamines in my life, and when accused of taking them, I immediately volunteered to give another urine sample. Aegeus, which is the company, refused my offer. The Aegeus drug test was erroneous. Their actions and those of NASCAR have eliminated my ability to show the test results were a false positive. God damn, twice, 2 false positives,
He's an
mind
idiot.
So, July 1st, 2009, a federal judge lifts his suspension.
Oh, what?
They lift his suspension.
They believe
They lift his suspension. They're super fucking happy. He's going to be able to race in Daytona.
Sure.
So that's overturned. He's ecstatic, Jeremy. Him and his wife are the reporters see them embracing outside of the courthouse. They're so happy. Mayfield turned and said, "This is just huge for us. We're just so happy. We're just they just beat the system. They're back in. Jesus, my life was over. Now it's back in." Straight and narrow. I'm not even taking fucking Claritin anymore.
No doubt.
I am not taking Tylenol. Nothing.
No.
July 6, 2009, Mayfield again test positive for meth. Again. Fucking again. 5 days later, after he went through all that shit, still had to fucking do it.
He had to celebrate.
Again. 5 days. Jesus fucking Christ.
They're not going to drug test me now, so
No,
I'm going to take
good.
it. Oh, let's
I'm
party.
good now. July 16th, 2009, NASCAR has an investigation into the whole thing. Now they want answers. This is bullshit. Guess who they ask for some answers?
Who?
Lisa Mayfield, his stepmom. Someone that might give answers that he doesn't like.
Oh, shit. Somebody that's going to be honest.
She says that she's seen him use methamphetamines more times than she could count. She said that she ends up basically testifying on behalf of NASCAR.
Yeah.
Jeremy said it's only because she killed his dad, and Jeremy cut her off financially. She said that she's seen him use methamphetamine on at least 30 occasions from 1998 on, including one right before a race in 1999.
Whoa.
She said, Lisa said, this is the affidavit, okay? I'll just read her statement because it's fucking crazy. It's a little long, but it's crazy.
She's hiding nothing.
She says, quote, I was married to Terry Allen Mayfield, and Jeremy Mayfield is my stepson. In fact, I married Terry Allen Mayfield in 2003 on the same day at the same church by the same preacher as when Jeremy and Shayna Mayfield were married.
Right.
They were married first. Terry and I were married immediately after.
Okay.
That's nice. She says, I am giving this affidavit concerning my personal knowledge of Jeremy's use of methamphetamine.
Yes.
I first saw Jeremy using methamphetamine in 1998 at his shop on Jackson Road in Mooresville, North Carolina. Jeremy cooked some of his own methamphetamine in his shop by the house. Wow. Until the stores took pseudoephedrine, which is off the shelves.
Right.
In addition to making amphetamine for his own use, I'm aware that Jeremy has bought methamphetamine from others between 1998 and 2005. I'm personally aware that Jeremy used methamphetamine often. I was concerned about his heavy use and talked to his father about it. I saw Jeremy use methamphetamine by snorting it up his nose at least 30 times during the 7 years I was around him. Jeremy used methamphetamine not only in my presence, but also when we were both in the presence of others. Jeremy told me that he did methamphetamine before the awards ceremony when he drove for Ray Evernham. In 1999, Terry, Jeremy, and Shayna and myself took a trip to Myrtle Beach the weekend before the Darlington race. I saw Jeremy using methamphetamine in Myrtle Beach. We left Myrtle Beach and traveled to Darlington for the race. I saw Jeremy using methamphetamine again when we reached Darlington.
He's running meth all day.
What he says through his lawyer says, quote, Jeremy's lawyer, quote, we'll respond to this. We're not worried about it. Lisa Mayfield has her own issues. That's what they say, okay? NASCAR obviously wants the judge to vacate the injunction from before and say, look, we can suspend him forever. NASCAR says, quote, because Mr. Mayfield's repeated and confirmed use of methamphetamine violates our substance abuse policy, we don't fucking want him here, basically. Right. We want to uphold this deal here. He seemed confident, though. He said he was going to win. Mayfield, so I'm going to fight and win. He said, I can tell you this, I'm not going to lay down. I'm going to stand up for what's right, and that's the way I am, who I am, he says. And they can try to throw every little tactical thing they can throw at me, but I promise you, I am not going down. I want the world to know, and if I do anything at all, hopefully it will be to make their drug policy like it needs to be, allowing meth. Easier on meth.
I need meth in my racing.
Now, goddammit, I want meth. So what he does is he, in response to Lisa's testimony saying about all the meth, he publicly accuses her of killing his father.
Jesus,
That's
you
what
can't
he
do
does.
that.
He accused her also of accepting money in exchange for testimony from NASCAR. And then it turned ugly also. Here,
it's not
after
ugly
this.
yet?
No, it's not.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's accusing her publicly of killing his father. Then he says, in their own words here, quote, they picked the wrong woman to use against me because that bitch is trash and I got nothing on me but lies. She don't deserve the Mayfield name. She's hated me since my dad got killed because I won't give her any money. She goes on the internet and blogs lies about me and Shayna and everything you can imagine. She's broke, and so I guess NASCAR had to give her some money. She's basically a whore. She shot and killed my dad. That's his fucking statement.
How is that a whore?
It's just because she was banging some other guy.
He didn't say that.
No, he just said she's basically a whore. She shot and killed my dad.
That was some meth rambling.
Yeah, he says that he plans to serve Lisa Mayfield with a wrongful death suit.
Yeah.
Lisa's pissed.
She's pissed.
Yeah. This is fucking crazy.
That's so great, though, that he's so frustrated and wants to say something.
He wants it out.
He wants to say something about her, and then she's basically a whore.
She's just a whore. She's a fucking whore. I'm telling you, that's all it is.
She's a broke, basic whore.
Broke-ass fucking whore. So what does she do in response? She files a civil suit against him for defamation of character.
My lady,
as she
like
probably
her.
should. Jesus Christ. So she files a suit for defamation of character. So in 2009, this summer, this is like the white trash Olympics. Yeah. We got fucking NASCAR, Mountain Dew, Alan Jackson, crazy stepmoms are fucking fighting with stepsons about who killed my father and he commits suicide and your big meth test and all his shit.
People screaming she's basically a whore. Holy
shit. This is an episode of like a late 90s talk show here.
This is unbelievable.
Fucking Jerry Springer time. What is happening with these people?
This is Geraldo. This is Richard Bay stuff.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's even worse than Jerry. It's Richard. You think this is crazy, right?
Remember when Richard Bay had like a guy in the sound booth that would play like sound effects and shit. Like that's where this is.
You think it's bad,
Shut
right?
your face.
This is the white trash Olympics right now. Guess what?
Yeah.
About to get way worse. August 16th, 2009, Lisa Mayfield, obviously the stepmother here, she's arrested Saturday night after an incident at Jeremy's house.
What?
8:30 p.m. This is nuts. The arrest was made at their house, Jeremy and Shayna's house. This is according to Shayna.
Yeah.
Jeremy and Shayna were on their way to the Cherokee Speedway in Gaffney, South Carolina for a dirt track race. This is August 16th, 2009. Okay. They have a couple that lives on their property and kind of takes care of their property. This couple calls Shayna and Jeremy and said that there's banging on the door and they won't stop. And so they turn around and go back to the house to investigate.
Okay.
By the time they get back to the house, they find Lisa Mayfield in handcuffs.
Oh, boy.
So at that point, what Lisa does is she threatened to, quote, come back and kill Shayna.
What?
She's going to kill me.
You can't say that.
You can't say that. Jeremy had a criminal complaint about this, obviously. Jeremy's in his complaint said, quote, she has been told several times to stay away from our home. Also having two no trespassing signs at the entrance of my driveway because of her. She hit my employee and made racial remarks to him and his family. Also threatened my wife and threatened to kill all of us. There's multiple criminal complaints here. Complaint from Damian Bone, who's the employee that we're talking about, who is listed as Asian, it says in the court documents.
Really?
Criminal complaint from Damian Bone, Mayfield's employee, who is listed as Asian. What the fuck different? I guess because there's a racial slur coming up, but still. That's on there.
I hope it's the wrong slur. Too.
That would be
I hope
great.
she calls him something else.
This deposition said, or this complaint says, quote, Lisa came off on the property, got out of the car, and went to Jeremy and Shayna Mayfield's front door, beat on it, cussing. She yelled at me for the whole duration she was there. She threatened to kill the Mayfields, called me racial slurs, assaulted me, my wife, my daughter, and daughter's fiance.
That's a bit deep.
Yeah, he claims that Lisa Mayfield punched him in the chest with her fist. Criminal complaint from Madeline Bone, the wife. Lisa was cussing my husband, calling him racial names while hitting him. I pointed my finger at her in some words, and she kicked me in the crotch. Oh, God. So I knew that was coming, and I'm like, oh, God.
A woman in the vagina. That's amazing.
Told me several times she was going to kill both me and Shayna Mayfield, and she'd, quote, be back to get us.
I believe her. She's kicking vaginas all day.
Criminal complaint from the daughter, Jessica. Lisa came after me, barely hit my arm, and then jumped. Then my fiance jumped in between us. She hit him and grabbed his shirt, then kept calling us disparaging names. Criminal complaint from the boyfriend. Lisa came after my fiance. I stepped between her and Lisa so she couldn't do any harm. She hit my fiance in the arm and then me in the chest and then grabbed a hold of my shirt and called me names. So she sounds like a real fucking peach.
Kicked my mother-in-law in the vagina.
Yeah. The spokesman for the police department said, quote, according to the officer, she was pretty high. The officers took her to jail on public assistance to make sure she didn't cause problems to herself or anybody else. The Mayfields came up to the office and took charges out. She was arrested on those charges while in jail. So they took her away just for like, what the fuck is her problem?
She was pretty high. So was she drunk, you think? Is that what they think?
Well, we don't know here because there's a lot of things going on here. Lisa will be charged with public intoxication. She also has warrants issued for 4 counts of simple assault and second-degree trespassing for that because she's out on it. She was released after making a $5,000 unsecured bond payment. August 26, 2009. This is this right around the same time here. Ray Evernham and Aaron Crocker get married in Las Vegas.
Oh, shit.
He was fucking right.
You betcha.
He was fucking right.
He nailed it.
He nailed it. He knew it was up, which is fucking hilarious. I had to put that in there because I'm like, you know what? At least he was right about that. They stay together for years. In 2015, they have a daughter named Kate Susan Evernham.
Oh, they're still together doing great.
Yeah. Now, late summer, so he calls up Brian France is on a radio show on Sirius XM NASCAR radio.
He called in?
He called in.
Oh, my God.
Jeremy calls in. And
as the radio guy, the producer screening calls. When that guy calls in and goes,
fucking radio.
Yeah, this is Mayfield. I got to talk to the dick.
Awesome.
You're in.
Right through.
You're on the air.
Shut up. I don't care about the Knicks this week.
I don't give a shit what race he's promoting. Here we go.
Let's go here. He said, quote, this is great. This is what he says. Quote, Brian France out there talking about effective drug policy is kind of like Al Capone talking about effective law enforcement. The pot shouldn't be calling the kettle black.
I love it.
That's what he's saying. By the way, there's tons of stuff later on where Brian France had a drug problem, apparently. And was in rehab facilities, and there's all these lawsuits with testimony for people at rehabs that knew him and officers that pulled him over and found drugs on him and were forced to let him go because he's the head of NASCAR. It's the South, and he's boss
and
on.
You don't say
it's
shit.
The South. Sorry.
You let him go.
So November 20th, 2009. Shit is bad. He's calling in radio stations. He's desperate as fuck. He auctions off all of his stuff.
Okay.
Everything.
All right.
Large barn. Just a huge deal. Thousands of people are there. He's selling everything too, from his property.
Yeah.
Fucking you name it. Yeah. Everything he's got.
Fucking hair clippings. Everything I got. It's all for sale.
Land, cars, dirt bikes, bulldozers, sunglasses.
His dogs.
3,000 people showed up.
Wow.
There's a 13,000 square foot home here. Heavy equipment, you name it. It's great. He needs the cash, he says here. A neighbor says that he stopped by for a look at the land because he drove by it all the time, nosy neighbors. He said to him it was clear that Mayfield was done wrong.
Yeah.
He said, quote, it could happen to all of us. He looks like a nice guy with a nice family. It's a real shame.
Conspiracy theories.
Anybody could get...
goddamn Illuminati.
Yeah, it's a multiple meth test. I mean, do you believe him? You think he's on meth?
Fuck, I think he's on meth.
Okay, that's what I thought. Jesus. That's good. Well, let's find out in a little bit here. He says it's a way to downsize his lifestyle.
Yeah.
They need to put they decided to put their private property and real estate auction on the block. They want to start over. There's also horses that they're going to do auctions on. Everything. Even Shanna had some of her clothes and personal items for sale. They're having a giant yard sale with everything. They were hanging out, laughing. Shanna said, quote, we're not going to let this get us down. We're fighting and we're going to keep fighting. I'd rather be here today than in Homestead, to be honest with you. I don't want to be around people that have treated us the way they've treated us and how things have gone down. It's exciting for us. The auction's fun. We're having a good time getting rid of a lot of stuff. It's fun. It's just stuff. That's what we all have to realize. It's just stuff. What's important is that we're healthy. We're happy. We have each other. We've got our friends and family. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day, because it's just stuff. And I don't need stuff. I swear I don't need stuff. I swear.
She says before she has a fucking breakdown.
Yeah, the last part I made up. Just I swear. Right. All the rest of it, true.
She said
that stuff shit. Repeat. It's just stuff. They said
she says they're auctioning her Louis Vuitton bag, and she's sitting in the corner just going, "It's just stuff. It's just stuff.
It's just stuff. It's just stuff. It's
you
okay.
Got me that
I don't need
for
stuff.
Our anniversary. That's just stuff. It's just."
They're selling everything. The journalist here says they have a thing where they have the auctioneer. At one point, he looks up, and the auctioneer said, "Sold for $15," holding up a circular saw blade. That's how down to the minute they're fucking selling.
A saw blade.
He said he would hopes to get $5 million.
Wow.
He doesn't know what to do. He said, "I've got to be here." We have it in their own words on the whole thing. In their own words, quote, "When you're not doing your job anymore, you don't have any income coming in. That wasn't my choice. That was NASCAR's choice by accusing me of something that is wrong and putting me in a situation where I don't have any income coming in. So I've got to do something to make a living now."
You can't say income coming in, by the way.
He's doing it.
You got to say, "I don't have any income," and stop talking.
Now you made me I have to cut music now. All I've ever knew was driving race cars. Well, I can't do that. They've taken that from me. I've got to do something.
Yeah.
So this is what I know. When people hear the word auction, they think bottom of the barrel. That's not the way it is. When you see what's going on today, how many people are here and what they're spending, it says a lot. That doesn't say a lot.
Nobody says the bottom of the racing is the bottom of the barrel.
No, the auction.
Oh,
when you're auctioning all your shit off.
That definitely.
When
says
you're standing in and
barrel.
saying I'm selling everything I own because I'm broke. That's he says it'll help financially, but it's also what I want to do. So he's trying to act like it's all good. I'm good now. It's fine. Ridiculous, man.
So I saw Emmitt Smith when he played for the Cardinals. When he moved out of town, he lived in Paradise Valley. He rented the same house that Shaq rented when Shaq was playing for the Suns, whatever. I saw a yard sale of all his old shit, and it wasn't like this. It was like, I'm moving, and this is a bunch of suits and shit that I don't need, so I'm selling this.
That's a yard sale.
It wasn't your fucking heavy
this is
equipment.
This
is
have.
Everything. This is bottom of the barrel, bro.
Yeah, this is
your
desperation.
This should be rock bottom for you, that you don't touch meth ever again.
Let's find out. Let's find out how he reacts to this. You think he'll find out well?
Fuck.
He says he's in a lot of debt. It is a legal fight. He's hired an expensive attorney.
Yeah.
He fired Mark Garagos, who's I've actually heard of him. He's an expensive attorney.
Sure.
He said he's been trying to delay the case. NASCAR's been trying to drain him by getting continuances on the case, so he has to pay more and more money. He's taking more shots at Brian France, and the lawyer's taking shots at France. France is pissed off. He says, "Nothing surprises me with trial lawyers in the 21st century. They're an amazing group of people." He's very angry. He says, "It's regrettable because our preference is never to be in litigation." But you're going to have to be in litigation because this guy wants back in.
Right.
May 22nd, 2010, Judge Graham Mullen dismisses Mayfield's case against NASCAR.
Oh, boy.
The injunction said that he could sue, and now this says he can't sue.
Okay.
He can't sue NASCAR because of the waivers he signed to compete in the Sprint Cup Series.
Yeah.
He also questioned the strength of Mayfield's evidence. He also said, and on top of that, I think you're fucking lying, basically. He says it's not. It doesn't fly here. Mayfield, again, he was trying to play the, it was Adderall.
Yeah.
He said he had Adderall and Claritin D.
Nope.
And that together makes meth.
No.
If you just mix that in a bowl, now it's meth. You can go out on the street and sell it. So good luck. Do that.
Here's the thing. I'm not a fan of lawyers either. Lawyers in general are slimy, but they're only as slimy as the case that they represent. You know what I mean? They're only as slimy as the person that they're representing.
Yeah,
you can have a great attorney that does great things. There's great attorneys all over the place.
If you were accused of something you didn't do, you would love some fucking slick talking attorney to get you the fuck out of it. You would love that.
Or if you're accusing somebody of doing something horrible, you want Gloria Allred.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, that's the one there. 2010, Lisa Mayfield, stepmom, does another deposition.
Yeah.
She says at this point that her husband also did meth.
Yeah.
And stopped using meth a couple of years before he died, and later began drinking right from the time he woke up in the morning, and prior to his death.
Jesus.
He said, quote, "He stopped the meth when Jeremy and him quit talking. Jeremy would not supply him with it anymore," is what he said. This is in the wrongful death case against her. She said in the deposition she only tried crystal meth a few times times.
Oh, boy.
She said that her husband kept the drug in a small plastic...
You said that.
Yep.
James said
A
that
few
with
times.
a giant smile.
Yeah, just a couple times. Just a little bit of meth. And Jeremy can't say, no, you did meth with us 100 times, because then he has to admit he did meth. So there's nothing he can say.
Catch 22.
It's fucking amazing.
Deal with that.
She said that he kept, the husband, Terry, kept it in a small plastic film container in the bathroom and would snort it through a hollow pen, is what he would do. She also said that sometime around 2007, Terry told Jeremy that he would make a deal with him, that Terry would go to rehab for alcohol if Jeremy went for crystal meth.
Oh.
He's like, I'll make a deal with you.
Yeah.
She said before they got into it, they were both doing crystal meth all the time, and Jeremy was paying him by hiring him to keep him from going to tell NASCAR that he was on the crystal meth.
Right.
So that's on the crystal meth.
He's
on the crystal meth. I'll tell you right now.
Anytime you say I think she did that to separate.
Sound like she doesn't know.
Separate herself from it.
That crystal meth that the kids are doing out there.
Right.
That all the street people do.
It's like anybody that smokes weed saying that them kids are always on the pot. It's stupid.
February 2nd, 2011, Jeremy says he's looking to start a metal recycling business.
Like a meth head?
Yeah, like a meth head, exactly. I'm thinking about just going around. I don't know what it is lately. For a long time, I just wanted to race, but now lately I've just had this desire just to go up and pick up scrap metal. I don't know what to do with it. I just have to pick it up. And so I said, I guess I could sell it. That's a business, right? You can sell scrap metal. Scrap metal's worth money, so I can just do that. What do you think? I'm going to get a shopping cart and go around like Bubbles and his friend, the white kid who died. We're going to take him around, the kid from Kids. Yeah, the one from Kids who had AIDS. That's right. That's the same guy. It's the same guy. It's in the same thing. So Bubbles, they went around and picked
Casper.
up. It's pretty good. Yeah, we can do that. We can do metal.
That's Casper,
metal.
right?
Sheet metal. Anything you find a sign on the side of the road, I'll take it. It's sheet metal. I'll take it. It's metal.
Wasn't it Casper and
Casper,
Kids with AIDS?
yeah. Casper was the one guy there.
Creepy fuck.
So he also wants to do some dirt racing in the South.
Yeah. His honest to goodness backup plan is to start a scrap metal company.
A metal recycling business. That's what he's going to do.
The only way that could be more stereotypical is if he started drywall. Like that, it doesn't get any more methy.
Or something.
Right.
Yeah. He said, for the most part, I try to stay busy on the farm or whatever. Kind of in the process of opening up a new business, kind of like the metal recycling business. Really excited about that. Other than that, just taking it day by day.
Really embracing that meth, though, for sure.
February 9th, 2011, Jeremy is court-ordered to apologize to his stepmother for the defamation.
Court-ordered apology?
Has to make a public apology as part of a settlement in the slander lawsuit that she filed against him. He still has his wrongful death suit going, but they've apparently said that this isn't going to look good for that for him. He says, quote, I have previously made statements to the press in which I accused Lisa Mayfield of either murdering my father, Terry Mayfield, or being involved in a conspiracy to murder him. Those statements were made in the heat of my emotional state at the time. I now retract those statements and apologize to Lisa for having made them. Wow. So he's forced to do that.
That's not good.
Well, he's starting to sound reasonable, and we'll see why here. Now, he also has he just can't stop fucking off here. This is more white trash shit here. April 21st, 2011. He was court-ordered to apologize to his stepmom. That's some white trash shit right there. Let's have more.
That's unbelievable.
2011, mail carrier Mary E. Bolton is delivering mail in Jeremy's neighborhood in Catawba County. Jesus Christ almighty. She's doing this. She has a package that is too big to get through to put in the mailbox, so she has to drive up and walk up to the door to drop it off. When she does, she is attacked by his 5 dogs that are roaming the property.
Oh, Jesus.
Pit bulls and Labradors.
Okay.
They get her pretty good. They go after her. They tear her apart. She was out of work for several months.
Holy
Jeremy
shit.
came out and saved her.
Yeah.
Jeremy heard what was going on, came out, scooped her up,
dogs,
called 911, drove her to whatever. He saved her, but
Right.
the dogs were wandering free on the property. He lives in a huge property, like a farm. So they were wandering free, no trespassing
free-range
signs.
dogs, whatever.
The whole thing.
Right.
So she ends up filing a lawsuit in September saying she lost almost $15,000 in wages, and she was out of work. She's also has post-traumatic stress disorder and nerve damage and has to do rehab and all this type of thing. So that's not going well, apparently here. It gets worse for Jeremy because now he's got that going on. She's suing him for God knows how much money. November 2nd, 2011, police raid his house.
Uh-oh.
Jeremy's house is raided. Apparently, according to the search warrant, which I have all of, it's ready to hear the list of items seized. Holy shit. Police worked for about a month with a guy named John Franklin, who's a complete crackhead, meth head piece of shit informant, but he knows shit. He told them that Mayfield and about 4 other people would break into different businesses and steal heavy equipment. Trailers full of it.
Really?
Tons of shit.
Like tractors and stuff?
Everything.
Okay.
Well, yeah, different equipment depends on the business.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's tools,
table saws,
things, whatever. They steal all this shit.
Like meth heads.
Yeah, like fucking meth heads. You're scrap metal. You're recycling metal and looking for stealing tools. Yeah. The warrant reads that it's been going on for about a year. This John Franklin also tells him that they would steal the items to get money to support his meth habit.
Yeah.
The person told Franklin here told the police that he used methamphetamine very frequently and that he consumes in front of him. Mayfield's consumed meth more than 500 times in his presence.
Holy shit!
Lots and lots of meth. Now let's see what they pulled out of his fucking property, shall we? I have. This is crazy, man. I have the entire search warrant, everything that they asked for. They claim in this there's all sorts of breaking and entering in the search warrant, breaking and entering to a motorsports facility in Mooresville, North Carolina, breaking and entering to Red Bull Racing, Mooresville, South Carolina, breaking or entering into Lee Boy Inc., Denver, North Carolina, and stealing the shit from there. He's seen at a Dwayne Scrap Metal Inc.
Yep.
And I guess he's seen there, and then the corresponding. It basically corresponds with 500 pounds of copper being stolen.
Oh shit!
Shit like that. They question him about, and all the guy keeps talking about is this is all for meth. This is all meth, the informant says. So they raid his house looking for stolen goods. That's all they're looking for. Let's find out what they find. Fuckloads of guns.
Really?
Fuckloads of guns. Yeah, he's got... Man, I'm going to buzz through them quick.
Okay.
A bolt-action rifle stamped 1954 old, a Mossberg 12-gauge, Winchester 94 AE 357 caliber, rifle, some fucking foreign rifle, a Remington Winchester model 1300 12-gauge, antique black powder rifle, a 22 bolt-action Remington 16, Group Industries 9mm, for also a 45 cal and a 22 of the same make. A Taurus Judge revolver, a Ruger Red Hawk revolver,
great fucking gun, by
44
the way.
Magnum. What?
That Taurus, the Judge, it's so badass.
Nice. Lever action 44 caliber or 45 caliber Colt.
Yep.
Colt 45, old school.
Just to give you an idea, the Taurus, it's a snub nose 357. It also fires
44s.
But it also fires like shotgun style.
Okay.
They're badass. They're unbelievable guns. They have a really long fucking revolver chamber. The whole chamber that's the revolver, it's super long, so you can put giant bullets in that fucking thing. It's like a little hand cannon. It's fucking sick.
Insane.
They're such great guns.
That is nothing. We're talking bolt actions and rifles and 12
high
gauges
powered
and
shit. He's building a militia.
Shit. And he's got Colt AR-15.
Oh, Christ.
He's got a fucking AR-15 in there. He's got semi-auto everything. He's got fully auto shit. Double barrel shotguns. I am buzzing through the list because there are 69 guns in all.
That's too much.
69 guns taken from his property.
I'm sure there are people who listen to this that have more guns than that, but that's a lot of fucking weapons.
That's a lot, and arguably too many. And and besides that, for him and what he's into, it's
constitutionally, James, that's inaccurate.
That's fine. Constitutionally, they were all thinking about someone having a Mossberg 410 pump with pistol grip. That's what was on their line, because that's what he had. That's what they said.
Yeah.
They go, we're going to get that.
Everybody should have them. Three of them, at least.
Or 69. Three's fine. 69, for the love of God.
That's so much guns.
So much. I'm scrolling pages and pages of rifles.
So much guns.
Rifles, shotguns, handguns, everything.
Too much.
That's not it, though. Also, 9 small packages containing a white crystal-y type substance.
Well, you shouldn't have that.
Later on, found to be crystal meth.
Yeah.
So he's got 69 guns,
right?
Some crystal meth.
Yep.
Right now, this is bad. By the way, I'm so innocent. Guess what? You just got caught with meth.
Right.
Stop saying you're innocent right fucking now. Over with. At that point, everything you've ever said means nothing because you just got caught with meth.
In the the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder, follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about BetDSI.com.
Yeah.
BetDSI has been in business for over 20 years, paying winners.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. A-plus rated on sportsbook review sites. Use your sports knowledge to make some extra cash.
There you go.
Easy to use mobile playing interface. Play, win, get paid.
There you go.
Simple as that. BetDSI offers odds on everything basketball, including win totals, who will win MVP, and much more.
Wow.
It's everything. BetDSI offers odds on pretty much everything else, too, including all major sports, politics, reality TV, pretty much everything.
Unbelievable.
Hey, you want to bet on who is going to win whatever singing show or celebrities dancing around like fools, this is the place to do it. They'll take your money and they'll pay you if you're right.
Yeah.
Use promo code CRIME25. That's CRIME25 and get a $25 free wager just for registering.
Wow.
If you decide to deposit, you will get a 200% bonus match on your money.
Unbelievable.
How can you beat that? We know people who have used BetDSI and they recommend it as highly as they can. If you want to add a little extra excitement to the games that you're watching. Once again, go to BetDSI.com and use promo code CRIME25. That is CRIME25 and get a free $25 wager on the house and 200% extra bonus when you deposit.
That's free money at BetDSI.com.
Free money. That's CRIME25 to get your free wager and start winning today. So more fucking guns, like I said, guns coming out of his ass. Also tons of paperwork because they documented every receipt, every title, every piece of paperwork that was in his house. They have everything. Also, too, this is the other thing they find here. This is the shit that matters. They find a bunch of stolen property, like a big scanner, a Hems engraver, box shocks, a stoplight. A fucking stoplight?
A fucking traffic signal.
I guess so. 3 small air cylinder things, air cylinder for machinery, box receptacle for sewing machine, set of scales for weight, like big scales, Scott oxygen pack, control valve port, box of assorted hand tools, 2 heavy-duty jacks, heavy-duty winch, hydraulic rubber hose sets, gray all of this shit that they found, trailers full of shit that was all fucking stolen.
Wow.
All this shit is stolen. Motorized truck mirrors, vacuum pumps. Some of this shit was stolen from his race teams in the past. Some of it was stolen from the companies that reported everything missing.
Sure.
It is fucking insane. This is all like heavy equipment shit, pallet jacks and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like this is stuff you stole from fucking places.
Industrial places,
yeah,
right.
It's crazy. 3 buckets of 4 bins of assorted hydraulic fittings. I mean, shit like that.
What the fuck is he doing?
Gas pumps.
Such random shit.
Also, meth pipe and a butane lighter found in trailer beside the Mayfield residence. Green butane lighter and Marlboro cigarette pack found in trailer. And lockpick set found in the garage at his residence. Because you need a lockpick set to steal all this shit. All of those things, it's like a meth starter kit.
Yeah.
They give you all that stuff.
No, it's a champion. It's a meth champion.
Yeah, and they give you an Alan Jackson CD and they send you on your way. And a can of Mountain Dew and they kick you in the ass. There
it's
you
a
go.
meth champion fucking, that's his showcase of all the shit he's got.
Yeah, I would say so, man. So they say he stole from all these places. Fitz Motorsports is where he got the car shit in Mooresville. Other places, too, like we told you before, like the Red Bull one. About $100,000 in stolen items in his house. So 69 guns, meth, and $100,000 worth of stolen shit. Yeah, they're trying to figure out, the cops are trying to figure it out. He owes also $82,000 in back taxes on all of his properties. So they're trying to figure out how that's going to happen also, because he's about to get foreclosed on. His lawyer says that he had no knowledge of either stolen property or methamphetamine being present on his property, and denies the accusation that he was in possession of methamphetamine or any illegal drug. Bullshit.
That's the guy why I hate lawyers.
It was Claritin and Adderall. I put them on the table together, turned around, looked back. It was a bag of meth.
All of a sudden, it's 3 packages of so much meth.
If you put them within 3 feet of each other, they form meth.
Right.
It's weird. It's a chemical reaction. All the stolen goods were.
They're like that meth. It's like that volcano. It's a meth volcano. It starts bubbling over.
That's it, man. You can't
everywhere.
help it.
You
It's
can't
like
control
this
it.
kid's school project.
Right.
It just
it's
pours over
baking
the
soda and
sides.
vinegar, and it's fucking
man.
crazy.
Stolen goods were located in the building and trailers on his property there, obviously. One of the guys, Tom Weiss, who's Lee Family Real Estate, says about $65,000 worth of items were stolen from his business. Most of them recovered from Mayfield's house on Tuesday night. He said, anytime someone enters your property without permission, you're going to feel violated. It makes me mad.
Yeah, no doubt.
He said, to me, they were just thieves. They just wanted to steal stuff. So he's like, I don't give a shit if he's a NASCAR driver or what the fuck he is. He's a goddamn meth head thief.
Right.
The meth, it was only 1.5 grams of meth.
Oh.
So it's definitely like personal use meth.
It's 3 small bags?
Well, he had it 1.5 grams divided up into 6 baggies.
6 of them, okay.
6 of them. So
Jesus.
he went out and bought a bunch of them, or he was going to sell it. I don't know what he was going to, who the fuck knows.
Or maybe that's all he had left that he was selling.
Yeah, it's the investigators are blown away. They don't understand why there's not more arrests, and there are more arrests later on. But they're like, one man didn't do all this.
Right.
You can't steal all this shit, one man. They found there was an incident involving his Mayfield at 3 a.m. on February 26th, before all this, when a tractor trailer without the trailer, just the truck bar, was parked in the rear lot of Anderson Truck Lines in Hudson. The truck wasn't supposed to be there, and the Hudson police came up to the truck, and inside the cab was Jeremy Mayfield and another man. Police said that the pair told police they were there to rest. The police officer left, and then 15 hours later, 4 trailers were reported stolen from that business. They left, and they just drove all the trailers out. Kind of like the Russian guy on The Wire in season 2 on the docks. He just pops it on there and goes out. You got to drop the box somewhere. Okay, never mind. Moving on, watch The Wire. So NASCAR, they got to be gloating. NASCAR.
I was just picturing the Russian guy from Die Hard with a Vengeance taking off with all the money out of fucking Fort Knox with all those trucks.
That too. NASCAR says
because all the cops were busy, James. They were busy looking for the bombs in the city, and that was in the school.
Movie,
that's a great fucking movie. I love it. Minus the part where he backs up the truck, a giant fucking dump truck.
Wait, what movie was that?
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Die Hard. Yeah, no.
The last one.
That's terrible.
Fucking great.
Jesus Christ.
Minus
Jimmy.
that part, it's fucking amazing.
You haven't seen The Wire or Deadwood, but you've seen Die Hard with a Vengeance. Okay, moving on.
That's hilarious.
NASCAR has snarky shit to say. We've heard the news about Jeremy. We'll have to see how it plays out. NASCAR's goal in the substance abuse program is to keep its competitors safe. That's all they say. We knew they were on meth. Right. His wife yells at someone on Twitter about this shit.
Get out of here.
Well, not yells about her, but just yells
hero,
in general.
Man.
Someone named Brenda Hilgenberg on Twitter said the latest arrest was a setup, and Shanna said, such a shady deal. Makes makes no sense. She's also later will yell at people on Twitter and other things here. January 24th, 2012, a 3-judge panel in the 4th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond hears arguments about the lower court dismissing Mayfield's lawsuit against NASCAR. How can he even go through with this now? You got caught with meth.
It's also been dismissed. Why are they even discussing an appeal?
He's still arguing that it was prescription drugs.
Okay.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why they can't just say, look, dude, we've
we heard about your metal recycling business. Case dismissed.
We heard about that. We saw the Mountain Dew commercial.
It's all done.
Alan Jackson is booming from your car right now. We can't have
this
right now.
You pulled up listening to Chattahoochee. It's done.
It's over with. I'm sorry here. March 6, 2012, they charge a second person in this case involved in the theft ring. They had a whole theft ring. This was like a big fucking deal. This is Rusty Alex Canipe. 4 counts of felony larceny he gets.
Rusty ain't even on his birth certificate, by the way. They just call him that for no reason at all.
Even his court documents say, we all just call him Rusty. They talk about missing pieces of furniture, on things stolen from the Anderson truck lines. This guy's bond was set at $100,000, old Rusty. Old Rusty. April 4th, 2012, with all this going on, Mayfield's, nobody wants to see him race, right? No. ARCA owner, ARCA owner interested in Mayfield.
Oh, boy.
There's always a CBA.
You bet.
There's always a CFL.
There's always a WFL.
Always a lower league that's willing to take someone with name value, no matter how much of a fucking disaster they are. They might get 5 more people to buy tickets, so fuck it, we'll take it. He said if he can avoid jail time, he could have a job back behind a race car in our place this year. We don't give a shit. The owner, Roger Carter, said doesn't care. He's into it. He'll hire this guy in a fucking heartbeat. He hasn't applied for an ARCA license, so the ARCA sanctioning body had no comment on it. May 9th, 2012 is the mailman or mail person lawsuit verdict here. Judge William Z. Wood of Forsyth Superior Court awarded Mary E. Bolton $1 million against Jeremy Mayfield and Shanna Mayfield. Jeremy didn't even show up for it. Mayfield's didn't file an answer and didn't appear in court on it.
I mean, it's just coming out of your homeowner's insurance anyway. Who gives a shit?
I suppose Jeremy said he didn't file a response to the lawsuit because he couldn't afford to hire another attorney. He said he already has attorneys representing him in other criminal matters, so he can't afford them.
The mail lady better pray to Christ he doesn't have farmer's insurance. They're the fucking worst.
He said,
fucking assholes.
He said, quote, if I had $1 million to give away, it wouldn't be in this situation.
I got to buy meth.
They ruled that he was negligent in allowing his dogs to run loose on their property. Bolton said she was happy about the judgment, the mail carrier. Mayfield said that he's sorry that Bolton continues to suffer from injuries. He said he offered to pay her medical expenses, which Bolton's lawyer refutes and says he never offered shit. He says he lives 3/4 of a mile off the road and he moved to the country so his dogs wouldn't bother anyone. He said, quote, I'm far enough off the road not to get messed with. My dogs never left the property, yet I've got $1 million judgment against me.
She's trying to deliver you a package, you dickhead.
Yeah, well, be careful. He says...
why is she able to get on the property is the thing. Like, if you've got your gates open,
then
you're
that's
a
problem.
Right.
He said it's, Bolton was there to deliver mail. It wasn't like, trying to sell him something or anything like that.
It's not a Jehovah's Witness knocking at your fucking door.
The judgment here, because they were talking about what about the financial difficulties, they asked this woman's lawyer, and the lawyer said, once it's formally entered, it's good for 10 years and is renewable for another 10 years.
Nice.
So, quote, at some point, Mr. Mayfield will have to address the judgment if he wants to get another home or a loan. He has 20 years to figure that out. So, May 21st, 2012, Mayfield's wife, Shanna here, files for Chapter 7.
Yeesh.
To get rid of all these creditors because they have shit coming from everywhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
They file separately of all their deal here. They're being hounded by creditors constantly.
How funny is he now, Shanna? How sparkly are those blue eyes and that big smile now?
No shit. No shit. They end up auctioning off his house, the 445-acre property. He had a $2.7 million debt in the home, and Carolina Farm Credit was the one who bought it for $1.37 million. They have less than $50,000 listed in assets in the bankruptcy and listing debt liabilities between $1 million and $10 million.
Fuck.
Yes. Further, Carolina Farm Credit Company may not be granted access to the property they purchased through auction if the bankruptcy case proceeds and exempts the property from liquidation. So they bought it in case the Mayfields can't pay it off, which they can't.
There's no way they can do it.
So yeah, it's
$50 grand doesn't cover $10 million.
Not at all here. September 2012, informant John Franklin, remember him from the? He dies. Following a high-speed police chase.
Oh, he's still a scumbag.
Oh man, listen to this. Franklin and Allison Nixon, a woman he was with, they both died in a crash on US 321 in Granite Falls. The two died when their motorcycle they were riding at 120 miles an hour.
Christ.
Collided with a vehicle making a left turn.
That ought to do it.
That must have been messy as fuck.
You bet.
The Highway Patrol said they found 7.5 grams of meth.
Just sprinkled around the road.
$1,714 in cash and 2 weight scales were concealed in a concealed compartment in the motorcycle.
And one Alan Jackson CD.
And an Alan Jackson CD was playing. That's all they heard when they pulled up to the scene.
Who's cheating who?
You know that quiet of a post-accident? There was that with Alan Jackson. Also, small amount of meth on Nixon, the passenger in that. November 2012, they auction it off for good here. $1.725 million on his house, Jeremy's house. It's a disaster here.
Deal.
One of the bidders, by the way, it was told by a reporter, represented Ray Evernham.
Oh,
so
shit.
He wanted to fucking good.
He wanted to come back and buy his house like fucking Shooter McGavin in fucking Happy Gilmore.
That's exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to Happy Gilmore him.
I'm going to have your grandma as my slave.
Never as my slave. I forgot all about that. So that later that month, Jeremy and Shanna are evicted from the house after it went into foreclosure. They see it's an unfinished home. They had built it and wanted to build it more. So it's gone now. Hickory.
That guy got a DUI too, by the way. Shooter McGavin.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, Shooter.
And he didn't give his real name to the cop. He told him, "You don't know who I'm Shooter McGavin. That's me. I'm the guy."
You don't remember that? Come on.
James just did the finger. Just so everybody knows.
January 9th, 2013, he calls into Motor Racing Network's live NASCAR radio show to talk to Brian France again.
Fucking love it.
This time,
he's a confrontational fuck.
Oh, not this time.
No,
he switched his whole shit around now.
He wants a job. He's desperate.
Says, I just want to ask Brian if he's willing to accept the fact that I'd like to come back to racing, and if we can sit down and talk about it and figure out what we need to do to make that work.
You're in your 40s, bro.
Yeah. France said, quote, "Well, Jeremy, you know the path back for you. It's the path back for anybody, and you know I've always hoped that you would choose the right path and not litigation and a bunch of other things, but that's up to you." And Mayfield says, "Okay, well, I appreciate that. I didn't mean to bother you on the show, but that's the only way I could get a hold of you, and I figured it'd be a great opportunity to do that." France says that he's welcome to complete the Road to Recovery program that NASCAR had. They had to put a fucking pun in it.
Yeah,
Road to fuck fucking you and your wordplay.
Jerk offs.
Yes. April 22nd, 2013, Mayfield is hit with 2 additional felony charges for possession of stolen goods from the raid.
Right.
He plans to file motions to have the charges dismissed, but God knows if that's going to happen here.
Where the hell does he live now? Like an extended stay hotel?
Jesus Christ. He probably lives in one of those trailers. That's all he could get. They also, so they hand him the indictments. He has to give another $30,000 secured bond because he's arrested on that. These indictments say that he's possessed items of value of more than $1,000, items of actual value from Lynn Carr Investments, LLC, and B.R. Lee Industrial Properties, LLC. This is plasma cutter, air filters, hydraulic fitting, stud welder, turbo air cleaners, cutting board, stoplight, engraver, truck mirrors, bonding kits, lights, grease, and oil reels. Whew.
That sounded like an ad for something.
That sounded like an ad. That's what the shit he stole.
This is what we've got down here.
This is what we got. Come on down and steal it. Come on down and steal my shit. Now, April 2013, Mayfield unsuccessfully attempts to have the charges thrown out against him based on the fact that John Franklin is now dead and can't testify against him.
Right.
They're like, yeah, we have plenty of... He wrote it down.
Yeah.
There's plenty.
Don't worry. We got a diary.
We got this. No, it's fine.
It's all logged.
December 11th, 2013, the mansion that was auctioned off last year is to be burned to the ground this weekend.
Yes.
They're going to burn it to the ground. He was evicted, obviously. Channel 9 reporter says Dave Faraday, he was the only reporter allowed in the house. to look around. It's kind of a mess now.
Yeah.
It's a 7-bedroom, 7-bath house, stripped down.
With no copper.
Stripped down, they said, from the windows to the wiring. They
right.
stripped it down to burn it. The neighbors across the street, Chris and Crystal Shook.
Ugh.
They sound like they said they watched it go downhill since Mayfield bought the home.
Yeah.
They said back in the day it looked pretty good. It was one of the best looking houses in the county and one of the biggest ones too.
In the county.
You know you're a redneck when you use county not state,
as a
not
measure
city,
of...
not county. County. That's a redneck shit right there.
Yeah,
Hazard County.
Yeah,
Get it?
I don't know where Maricopa County ends. Like,
Who the fuck knows?
Fuck no,
because you're in a city.
I
That's
haven't
why.
got a clue. Here's the thing, though. Like, that's he was out there blowing shit up. They're essentially going to blow up that house. They're burning it to the. When has a house ever been demoed and been burned?
Well,
I've never heard of that before.
The fire chief, Donald Robinson, says that it's burning it as a training exercise for the fire department. It's that sort of thing here.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, they don't want that. The new owners want to rip it down and do something else with it anyway. So
and
they're
the fire
fuck
department's
it.
like, well, we could do some use with that.
Yeah, they said, quote, everything we can do to better our training and skills, that's what we're going to do with this house.
It's a live event.
Sounds good.
It's a real house.
Mayfield said he had no plans to watch the home burn.
No.
No.
He's going to cry.
Well, he's got felony charges that he's got.
I don't want to be in that county.
No, he's like, no. Also, there was scheduled rain, and it ends up raining and delaying it another week, the burning.
Gotta let that house dry out.
He tagged the news station in a tweet, Jeremy, and he said, quote, hate to see our previous residence burn down. However, I've always loved a good bonfire. Out of the ashes, a phoenix will rise.
Okay.
So I'm good now.
Not you, but a beautiful house that somebody else owns and pays for, Will.
Yeah, that's it right there. So, wow.
That's it.
He has, this is still going. He's he's a fucking disaster, obviously. He is now sitting God knows where in a fucking trailer somewhere going, can I come back to NASCAR? I don't want to watch my house.
Stay. That's
you
what I
know
see.
there's an extended stay. You fucking know there's an extended stay.
Absolutely. He's lived in one for several months before.
And I feel like Shannon's like, it's okay. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. She's
I'll
like,
just put my home sweet home sign here.
I'm going to go out.
Okay.
I'm going to get us some groceries. They have that kitchenette. I'm going to make us a nice dinner. She goes out. She's gone for like 3 minutes. Knock back at the door. He's like, fucking Shannon, we forgot her key. He opens the door, and it's Dexter Manley, interior designer from New York City. And he says, how is it you come to arrive here? Look at you. You're all nasty. Look at you. So what? Don't snort that. Don't snort that. I had a friend. I'm just going to tell you this right now. It's for your own benefit. I had a friend. He used to do that a lot. Okay, and let's just say it's going to hurt your thingy. Let's just say that. I'm going to say Shannon's not going to like it because it didn't do him any favors. I don't know that from experience. Don't judge me because you don't know who I am or what I do. That's my business. I am Dexter Manley. Damn it, I'm my own man, and no one will judge me for anything. Anyway, sir, I've become now. I'm going to tell you this. I've told other people this also, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to sit you down. Just sit down, honey. Come on, sweetheart. Sit down. You, sir, you're white trash. I'm sorry. You're just trash. You got Mountain Dew, and you got Alan Jackson CDs coming out of everywhere. You're just white trash.
Holy Christ.
And I'm very sorry. I have to go now. Poof. And a poof of glitter and purple things. He's gone. Dexter Manley, out of here. Quick. Dexter, Jesus, man. He's got a lot of energy, that Dexter Manley.
I thought you were going to say he just became a life coach.
He should be a life coach.
I just became a life coach.
I would listen to Dexter if he told me some shit that was wrong.
Listen, I'm not telling him to go away. He's a very educated fellow.
He is. He knows things.
Yeah. He's from New York.
He is. January 6, 2014, Jeremy faces all these. There's 7 felony charges in all.
Yeah.
Stolen goods, property under false pretense, drug possession, you name it. Charges all carry about 20 years in prison if convicted here. He pleads guilty, though, to 3 misdemeanors, 2 for possession of stolen goods and 1 for possession of drug paraphernalia.
Okay.
So he pleads guilty to get a lower sentence here. He says to the judge, in their own words, quote, "It's been tough. It's been something that's been held over us, and we weren't able to move forward and move on with our lives. And that is something that was very important for us to do. Keep going and get it behind us. I'm looking to start over with a fresh start."
Okay.
He says this in front of the judge, and the judge says, "You, sir, may fuck off. Sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
He sentences him to 45 days in jail.
Yeesh.
Which will be suspended as long as he doesn't violate his 18-month probation.
Oh, boy.
He also must pay $88,124.41 in restitution to the victims, as well as $1,100 in fines and court costs.
He's got so many judgments against him.
Well, he does. He's got tons. This is an Alford plea, is what he does, too. He doesn't even plead guilty. They let him do a fucking Alford plea. I feel like it happened 3 years ago. They just wanted to get it over with. There's not enough evidence to convict. He admits there's enough evidence to convict, but doesn't admit to the acts. Is what an Alford plea is, in case you guys out there don't know. Prosecutors said that the death of James Franklin was most of the reason why they did a plea agreement, because they didn't have their star witness.
Sure.
It wasn't the same thing. They said, quote, the convictions were based on a number of factors, including conversations with the victims and law enforcement. In this case, the unavailability of the state's key witness due to his death and the likely result should see these cases have been presented to a jury without the witness. So it would have been bad here. He also faces, though, charges in 2 other counties also at the time, but they're talking about dropping those because he pled to this. And they're kind of just like, so can we just fucking everybody just calm down? All right. It's one of those deals. He didn't comment. They asked him, where are you going to get the money to pay for the victims? And he had no comment for that because obviously he's not. He had to pay $60,000 on Monday afternoon at the court. I don't know where he got that. And he had to supposed to pay the remainder the next day.
Wow.
Like another $20,000. All the goods have been returned to their owners. His lawyer said, quote, the only people who've been hurt by this, by Mr. Franklin's actions, are going to be taken care of by Mr. Mayfield. Okay. So they said, all the people that Mr. Franklin fucked over.
It's all him.
It's all him. Jeremy's going to make it right.
He's going to take care of it. He's a
hero. He didn't do it.
Right.
He's a hero. He feels bad. He wants to get everything taken out and everything. He's a good guy. That's what it is.
Just deep down, Mayfield gives a shit.
He cares, damn it.
Yeah,
he fucking cares. Mayfield cares. Smiley face.
It may have been from Dexter changed his.
That's what it is. I think it was. Dexter turned his fucking life around.
Turned it all around.
How many times he
got
does that?
Got him out of a fucking extended stay.
Dexter's one of my favorites. He really is. Mayfield here, like I said, he's got 4 counts of felony larceny in the other counties there. So Jesus Christ, it's. Fuck. He lives in. I feel bad for his wife a lot, dude. His wife she found him. She was a college kid that found
so
this.
hopeful.
He's got a helmet and he's in a race car. He's
waving
looking cool.
And shit.
The parents are like, ooh, he's successful. Now she's like in a trailer going, no, he doesn't do meth. Really, it's fine. The stolen stuff, he just borrowed it and he doesn't do meth. It's his cold medicine, I swear. La, 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 la. How much Xanax must she take?
She is so sweet.
Just
to operate, just to get through the day,
going.
just to look at his toothless smile.
To keep going. Jesus Christ. His dad died fucking
depressed.
In a meth haze from him. His stepmom. I feel bad for all of these people, Jimmy. I feel bad for all of them. But not nearly as bad as I feel for Jeremy Mayfield.
Wow.
Senior enterprise architect at Alaska USA in Anchorage, Alaska.
At least he's removed from the whole situation by the fucking entire continent.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jeremy Mayfield, IT director at American Cement Company, LLC in Orlando, Florida. That's getting pretty
way
fucking
close.
He's went to Southern Illinois University, which I believe is the, what are they, the Salukis or some crazy shit like that?
Midwest, a bit too close to Kentucky.
That's what I'm saying. Jeremy Mayfield, senior database administrator at Regions Financial Corporation in Birmingham, Alabama. Again, in the South. I look for the South. He went to Jacksonville State University. And Jeremy Mayfield, whatever the fuck this is, Jeremy Mayfield, an independent fine art professional.
What the fuck?
In Phoenix, Arizona. So I don't know where you are, Jeremy. Come to our live show in March.
Some guy that paints pictures down at First Fridays. That's a bullshit day.
Apparently. And finally, last but not least, because this is my favorite, Jeremy Mayfield, a preacher musician.
Oh, my God.
In Tennessee.
Oh, my God.
It says on the church that he goes to, the website here, it says, quote, Jeremy Mayfield is the husband of a fine woman named Jessie and the father of a trifecta of ridiculously cute kids named Levi, Abel, and Vera. Jeremy is a composer, arranger, and session musician.
Yeah. I was hoping that our Jeremy found God. That's what I was hoping.
No. That would have been another rule.
That would have been amazing.
He said he wants to return to racing again.
Yeah.
He's saying that he didn't believe pleading guilty to the misdemeanor drug paraphernalia should impact his ability to go through the program, the recovery program. program. He says, quote, I'm not sure what we're going to do now. We're going to wake up tomorrow and figure it out. I'm not sure what I want to do yet. In some way, I want to race. I'm not sure that way yet. He says, I love racing. That is what I love to do and what I'd like to do. I'm just not sure to what extent or not even really sure if that will be in our future.
Right. Not sure how that looks at the moment.
Yeah. 2014, he does a Reddit AMA.
Oh, no.
Yep. And he basically just rails against NASCAR, saying that they fucked him over, but he's willing to play the game with them now, even though they're fucking crooks.
Right.
He does an hour-long interview with the Sporting News' Bob Packrass in July 11, 2014.
What a fucked last name.
That's Packrass. It's got ass in it right at the end there.
You don't want that.
Packrass.
Right.
That's why I was like, Packrass. Jesus. He says, I don't do drugs for sure. I don't drink.
What he means is I can't afford drugs.
I can't do drugs. I'll make my own, though, if you've got any Sudafed that I can borrow. May I check your medicine cabinet? Is that possible?
That's so great.
He said, I might have a couple of beers a year, maybe. I don't steal. I haven't broken into any buildings and stole race car parts and stuff. He just basically said the opposite of what he does. Yeah. I'm not a male white guy who's from Kentucky. I'm not this. He just, all the things I've done, I don't do any of those things. Yeah, Jesus Christ. He again talks about the false positive. He won't admit that he just did fucking meth.
You're right.
He says, though, he's doing it because it's what's right. It's what's right to be suspended and go with it. And he says, quote, the easy road would have been, okay, yeah, I'll do your road to recovery, Dr. Black, and I will go to your rehab. But I just don't believe that's right. And I still don't believe it's right. I don't feel like I did anything wrong, and I still don't today, God damn it. He's the only driver who's ever been suspended and refused to go through the program. That's the other thing. Everybody else was like, yeah, no problem. We'll take care of it.
Wow, man. That's what meth does to you. Kids, don't do meth.
This idiot is what happens here.
Never do meth.
He says, quote, you've got to stand up for what you believe in. If you don't, you're not American anymore. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what? He's got a point. If you don't deny all of your faults.
You're right to do meth.
If you don't do meth, steal, and deny all of your faults to your dying breath, you're not American. He's got a fucking point.
Yeah.
He starts a website to tell his side of the story.
Yeah.
It is j2mayfield.com, and it's now as somebody trying to sell you loan management software. It's not him at all anymore.
He lost the website and couldn't pay the re-up.
Quote, what is the importance of a loan management software? Loan management software is a relatively new development in the business of borrowing and lending, blah, 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 blah. You get the point. It's not Jeremy Mayfield. He did not write that shit. October 9th, 2014, Jeremy is running dirt late models. He is driving. He is in North Carolina, in Denver, North Carolina.
Yeah, back there.
The good Denver, I guess. No, it's not Denver. Right. Colorado's beautiful. Right. He will field a dirt late model operation. Is what he's doing. He's been back on the short tracks with open wheel modified race cars all around the Carolinas. The Aaron Thomas owned team has support from NASCAR elites and other people too, and everybody seems to be okay with this. He's quoted as saying he's received guidance from Jonathan Davenport.
Yeah.
I guess that's somebody who knows shit about racing on dirt. He has an ultimate goal of racing with the Lucas Oil Series full time.
Yeah.
Mayfield's dirt late model is adorned with the, quote, Take It Back campaign. That's his thing. Here. Take It Back, which references the fact that he's taking back his life and overall love of racing.
Ridiculous.
Is what he says. October 2015, he's supposed to... He competes in a Kingsport Speedway Fright Night 300 in October. I assume it's a Halloween thing.
Yeah.
He's scheduled to take part in a bunch of races here. Now, I found March 10th, 2017. My eyes lit up because I found a Jeremy Allen Mayfield. In Kentucky, of all places, that was arrested. And it's finds himself in jail after being taken into custody this week by the Sheriff's Department. Jeremy Allen Mayfield is charged with a Class A felony count of domestic abuse involving serious physical injury and Class B felony count of abuse or neglect of a child. I was like, oh, shit, he's escalating. Then it says this guy's 28 years old.
Damn it.
I'm like, fuck, it's not him. So I'm glad for Shanna and their kid. They don't have a kid, but I'm glad for Shanna that it's not him.
Right.
But yeah, apparently this happened sometime around March 2nd of this year. Bond for this guy was set at $500,000.
Wow.
Which seems like a fucking lot.
That seems like he beat the shit out of a kid.
Bad. Can't get enough of Jeremy Mayfield.
I sure can't.
Follow him on Twitter at J2Mayfield. at J2 Mayfield there and all the other social media. It's basically people tweeting at him race shit and him going, yup, I know. Can't wait. I want to get out there. That's a beautiful car. If you can't get enough even more, you can go to Amazon.com and pick up the Revel Kids, Kmart Kids Race Against Drugs minicast.
Get out of here.
It's a Jeremy Mayfield.
Say no to drugs car.
Number 37.
Wow.
Right on the hood, it says Kids Race Against Drugs.
Wow.
Giant thing. Die-cast replica, $15.44 plus $4.49 shipping. And
that's a great fucking car.
That's the irony is just beautiful
so
in that. That's
fantastic.
That's so great. I saw that. I was like, oh my God.
You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, it's so great. It's so perfect. You can't ask for anything better than that.
That's like Jason Williams being like, the NRA is a bad organization.
Yeah, exactly. Jesus.
That's incredible.
iCollector.com.
Yeah.
You can get a Mayfield 98 car for $5 there.
Yeah.
eBay, a Revel 124th scale model, number 12 car. It's a bank set, actually, too.
Yep.
There's a little car and a bank of the same car.
Yep.
$24.95. And, of course, tons and tons and tons and tons of Mayfield redneck lawn shirts. Tons of shirts that rednecks wear while mowing the lawn. Tons. Oh, cars and things and flashing and
lawn
beer.
Shirt.
I just saw, someone's going to get it, cut the sleeves off, and hit that fucking yard work like nobody's business.
And it's got a big fucking car on it.
Comes with a beer koozie.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. That is Jeremy Mayfield.
My Christ.
What a fucking disaster.
So much meth.
So much meth. Such a disaster.
It never stops.
It's just, he's just an asshole.
Yeah.
And it's just, that was just the turmoil of a white trash lifestyle. That's all that was right there.
And I'm so white trash, and I'm almost
embarrassed for him.
Almost embarrassed for my family to enjoy that sport and life.
You've never sued and then been countersued by your stepmom, so I think you're okay.
Or the mailman for getting bit by my fucking 5 free-range Rottweilers.
Your wasted stepmother didn't have to be dragged from your property by police
while kicking my gardener in the pussy.
I was just going to say, not gardener. Well, kicking my gardener's wife in the pussy. And calling them fucking racial slurs. And calling them slants. It's terrible.
Slope came out of her mouth. That's definitely the one.
It
was either that or like garden N-word or something. You know what I mean? It was something horrible.
Yeah,
I wish they would have put in the documents exactly which word she said.
Racial slurs.
I mean, granted, it doesn't matter what she said. Except for the humor of it, because it's hysterical when somebody's angry and just screaming fucking racial slurs, because it's just them swinging wildly because they have zero competency. I was going to call them incompetency, but they
don't know what to say.
They have a ton. I have incompetency. They have zero competency to be able to string together an insult that actually stings, so they just throw out their fucking desperation Hail Mary.
Speaking of a desperation Hail Mary, if you like that, please get on iTunes and give us 5 stars. We're desperate. We're throwing a Hail Mary. Give us 5 stars. Just tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It really doesn't matter. Nope. It is just for the business end of it. If you want to do more like these amazing producers that we're going to talk about that we love with all of our hearts, you can get on patreon.com/crimeinsports, and you can make a donation there, or you can make a one-time donation over at PayPal using our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
That's the one.
You can follow us on social media on all the platforms at Crime and Sports. Crime and Sports on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com/Crime and Sports, crimeinsports@gmail.com.
That's it.
Type in Crime and Sports. You'll find us here. Don't forget about live shows and all that good stuff.
Come see us. It's going to be so fun.
Lots of good stuff. Crimeinsports.threadless.com for all of your merch needs. We have everything. And Jimmy, why don't you hit us with that list right now?
This week it was real. So first, let me correct that Susan Olgis is not a truck driver. You guys, I'm a piece of shit, and I forgot. I knew that she was an EMT, and I completely forgot the one that does that did the Yoo-hoo fudgicle thing. So and I wanted to correct that. She pointed it out to me. By the way, I'm not a trucker, and I was like, I know that because I've seen that.
I know that.
I've seen
I'm just
that you're
dumb.
an EMT, and so that's the point. She's a fucking EMT.
She's not a trucker. She's saving lives out there, damn it.
She's terrific. Jess Landgren and Chrissy-Ann Castaldi, I've decided, are now executive producers. So thank you both very, very much for consistently helping us get through this and being fucking lights. You're both amazing. Thank you.
Yes.
Elizabeth Margaret Reese, that's it. She sent Ty Bot, which is fucking incredible to see Ty Bot being exchanged over the internet to get us American currency
amazing.
for it. So
Thank you. We love getting
so much, Liz.
Currency from other countries. That's
it's
cool.
Fucking incredible.
Currency, just the fact that you would send us a dime of any currency is we're blown away. So thank you.
Ashley Cunningham sent an e-check, which was really cool to see.
Cool.
We're getting all kinds of support, and to see an e-check with a little note that told us to have a Merry Christmas or something.
That's so nice,
so
man.
sweet.
That's
so thank you, Ashley. I appreciate it. Andrew Wigan, Sarah Gilbo, or Gilbo. It's Gilbo. It's got to be. It may be Gilbo. Either way, she sent 2 donations just of cash.
Wow, that's amazing.
And she's just fantastic. So thank you so much,
Sarah.
You're fantastic. And then I think she may have gotten on to. No, never mind. You're fine. It's fine. Whatever. Sarah Gilbo sent 2 donations.
Thank you, Sarah.
Mary Faust, Margie Kunze. By the way, I meant to correct her pronunciation a couple weeks ago.
She's
and
cool.
I
She's very supportive of us. Thank you.
She's amazing.
Thank you,
Margie.
Love you. Thank you, Margie.
Hannah Ettinger over in the UK sent a couple of donations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hannah. We really appreciate it. And also, too, thank you for the ticket donation.
Yeah.
She bought tickets and she could because she was going to come from London, but her health won't allow her to come. So she donated them to another listener, which is so cool.
Chicago,
someone who couldn't afford to get there.
No
so
doubt.
we appreciate that.
It's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Richard Paul, Megan Hodge, Deidre Kohler had a snafu. She sent money on PayPal to somebody on accident and then got it revoked and then sent to us. She sent it to the wrong location. So some poor guy, poor guy got money and then
cool.
Shit.
Damn it.
Son of a bitch. I thought I had cash. Ross Olson, Molly Parker, Danny, holy son of a what?
Well,
Danny,
that's quite the last name. Holy son of a what?
That's even easier than Wierzynski. No, Wierzynski? Wierzynski.
Let me see that. What is it? Let me look. I'm trying to get
Danny Wierzynski is right in the middle. So long with the W.
I bet it's just Wierzynski.
Right? You think it's just Wierzynski?
Usually when it looks like all of that, it's just whatever is the basic sound and Zinsky.
So you want to get rid of that Y? It's Wierzynski.
You know what, dude? You're not getting your Y. Cut that shit out. You're
all right,
Wierzynski
Mr.
from
Wierzynski. That sounds too close to Wazowski from fucking Monsters Inc.
Is it Wazowski or Wabowski?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
There was a 3-year-old in that movie ruined everything.
Yeah.
Right. That kid fucked everything up.
God damn it.
Sherry Howard or Holland? What? Sherry Holland.
What?
Nathan Lossner. Kasten Johnson sent some more money. Thank you, Kasten.
Thank you, Kasten.
James Cook, Carla Kamsteig, Crystal Kalibo, Rachel Taylor, Sarah Lindsay Pet Care. Find them. Google Sarah Lindsay Pet Care, and if she's near you, have her take care of your pet.
She'll hook that pet up.
She'll wash it, I'm sure. Yeah. Mariah Minhier, she's terrific. I think she's the Dutch one. I think that's what she is. She was the one that corrected my stupidity when I said what did I say? Llewellyn, and it sure was not Llewellyn.
She had a better Dutch pronunciation.
Tatiana White or Tatiana, I think it's Tatiana, right? The J makes a Y sound. Yeah. Dana Grayson sent, and Dana's going through some shit, man. He's got some family stuff going on, and I'm really pulling for his family. Thanks for listening, Dana. Thanks for supporting. I hope your family comes through it.
Hope we can help get you through.
Yeah, with dick jokes and whatever, making fun of assholes.
We got those.
Either way, thanks, Dana. Vincent Peluso, Rachel Edwards, Kajza, Kajsa, Kajza.
Yes.
Kajza Logan Mueller. The first name fucks me every time. Christopher Carr sent some money. Thank you, Christopher. Graham Stevenson. I think it's Graham, Graeme.
That's Graham.
That's Graham. Or it's Grandma. It could be Grandma. You don't know. You don't know Graham.
Yes, Grandma is the man's name. He goes by Grandma.
Right. Stephen Mace. My sister, Melissa Raichu, sent some dough, so thanks.
Yeah, thanks,
it's
Melissa.
Actually Raichu. I always say Raichu.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter.
She actually put the pronunciation of your sister. Did she
write it in
of her name on a Facebook post saying, "Don't mispronounce my name."
Don't mispronounce.
And then parentheses, how to fucking say your own sister's name.
That's my sister.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Nicholas Alexander, Katie Heisel, who makes all the maps for Small Town Murder.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Katie.
We love the map. Thank you, Katie.
Terrific.
Those maps are cool as shit. I look at those where I'm like, what state am I doing? I'll pop the map up and be like, yeah, I need over here.
Yeah, that one.
That helps me. Thank you.
So you're doing the Lord's work, Katie.
Yes,
Thank you.
You're helping me.
Aaliyah Steinman. Tarabusi Creek, which that doesn't.
Sounds like a wine.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It does sound like a wine.
They're all red too. They don't even make a white one. There's no white ones.
Carabusi Creek, and there's
all
a couple with a picnic, blanket laid out out sipping glasses of wine next to a slowly moving, babbling brook.
Barely trickling over the rocks.
Yeah.
Kim Blevins sent 2 donations and then logged into Patreon and then donated through Patreon.
Jesus, thank you.
Kim, you're amazing.
That's
thank
incredible.
You.
God,
this one
thank you.
is going to fuck me. I know it. Not the name.
Yeah. I know this one going to fuck me good.
Right.
Yeah.
Teresa Schuchenflug? What? That doesn't make any sense. That's a what? How do you do that? It's what is that? Is that Swedish? Is that? She sent so many donations.
Thank you.
That were like
I know. I've seen
there was
the
like
name
11
too.
of them.
I know.
Came
That's
across.
so nice, and I feel bad we're destroying her name.
I know. I'm trying.
And I'm trying to process it, and it doesn't make sense.
So there's a P in there somewhere. Like
Shit.
that's.
I hope it's silent.
I look
don't
at it
know.
and go, no, that doesn't. No.
Fuck.
It's Dutch or something,
well,
probably.
tweet us
Or
your
German.
pronunciation, and we will not fuck it up next time. Or we will, but we'll try to get it right.
Ainsley Duncan, Christopher Brown, Christine Leischel, Dahlia K. Daver, Mahmoud Rahman. Mahmoud
Abdul Aruf.
Yes, Mahmoud Rahman. Thank you, Mahmoud. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, thank you, man.
David
really.
Smart, Nanu. I saw these 2 names together between Mahmoud and Nanu, and I was like, I'm gonna crush those and look like the biggest fucking smarty pants ever. And then I'm gonna nope. Absolutely. Sampaio, Nanu Sampaio, that's it. Sylv and Brian Von Deck. I love names that start with Von; they're always cool. Katie
Sounds
Earl
strong.
Mahoney, right? No doubt.
Thank you,
Katie
Katie.
Earl Mahoney, Mark Jackson, who I hope is the coach of the Knicks. He's not anymore. It's the Clippers now. I don't know where he's at now.
Fucking, yeah.
He was amazing. I love that guy. Iosif, no. Iosif de Rebus. That's it. Iosif de Rebus. It's an I or a lowercase L. It's either Losif or Iosif. I'm going with Iosif.
Either one, I like
Abigail Milner Sweetster. Dawn, no last name, but thank you, Dawn.
Thanks, Dawn.
Chris Coles, Lisa Warren, Megan, no last name, Megan. Stephanie Edlin Bollinger. Kathleen Thill or Till. I think it's Thill, right? That's TH. I'm not sure. Brandy Ferry, Autumn Long, and then Autumn Lord, which was they were right next to each other.
Wow.
One right after the other, which was bizarre.
The whole phone book is coming at us.
I hope so. Alandra Call and Jason Malls, Tracy Stratford, Kyle Lecher, Marcus Rippentrop, or Trope, Rippentrop.
That sounds better.
Jesper Wernerson, which sounds like a mayor. That's fucking great. Jesper Wernerson here.
He does.
For fucking...
Running for Senate of a small... Running for Congress in a small district in Mississippi.
Jesper Wernerson. We're going to get... It sounds terrible. I'm just going to ruin it and make it awfully racist.
I don't like the blacks.
Right. Jesper Wernerson, I'm going to get you a clean water fountain.
That means no blacks. Or foreigners. How's that? Or
Jesper Wernerson for whites only.
I'll go one step further because my opponent says he's going to do the same thing. Well, not only black, people from the north also not allowed to drink there.
Jesper Wernerson, locals only.
Sorry, if you're born above North Carolina, I'm sorry, I cannot count it.
Sorry, Jesper. You're probably fucking amazing
because
he's
a
on
nice
board.
person,
right.
obviously.
Lindsay Fabella, Laura Crosby, Kat O'Neill, Elizabeth McAllister, Heidi Lake, Leica Riddle, Mike Kennedy, William Hickson III, by the way, Chris Dreger, or Dreger, Meat Pie Poshik. Somebody Meat Pie Poshik donated money.
That's fantastic.
Rachel Timmons, Dirk Haley, Caitlin Carmichael, Josh Doon, Lisa Mim, M-I-H-M. Mim?
I guess, yeah, it's like Chris Mim.
Right.
Chris
Mim,
Mim,
you're right. You're right.
Center for North Carolina.
Melissa Pomeroy, Lexi Skelton, Dina McGuire, Maddie Johnson, Emily Hua, H-U-A. Like, it's a sound you make when you're a kid and you're fighting. Hua.
That's what Al Pacino makes all the
time.
Yeah.
He does too. Robin Bevan, is that a V? Damn it. I think it's Bevan. If it's not, tweet me and call me an asshole. Jacqueline Conti.
Just tweet him and call him an asshole anyway.
Do it anyway. Jacqueline Conti, I like that name because that was my third grade teacher's name. And I pray to Christ it's her. It's probably not.
You knew your third grade teacher's first name?
I know. Isn't that bizarre?
And I
remembered it when I was 36 years old when I read that name. I
didn't know a teacher's first name until like high school.
Really?
I was like, oh, yeah, first name.
Oh, my God, your name's Ellen? That's so weird.
Yeah, I knew one of my friends' Little League. One of my Little League coaches was a
friend of yours. Mom
was a friend of hers. Yeah, she was a teacher, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
How
she
did
has
I
a name?
fucking finish your story?
I don't know. I
was
like friend of mine's dad, mom. What are we talking about here? I got lost in the Jesus.
So Jacqueline Conti, thank you. Amanda Windsor, Allison Keller, Vicky Frederick, and Callie French. You guys, this week was fucking bananas between the
I've been able to keep up with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff every week for the past 40 weeks.
It's getting out of hand
and
now.
This week kicked
in a
my
great
ass.
way.
Yeah, and I love every second of it. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome stuff.
Thank you guys
Thanks
so much.
to everybody. God damn it, you guys are the best. I'll tell you that right now. What if one of these amazingly fine people wanted to get a hold of a podcast host such as yourself?
You can
How
find
might
me
they do that?
at Wisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, everything. Just find me, play along. I can't get enough of hearing from you guys. Thank you so much.
And I am at Jimmy P is funny, or you can try and copy and paste my last name. Don't spell it. There's an I in there. It's tricky. Do that. I'll try my best. Like I said, if I'm in a research hole, I'm out of the game for a couple days doing that sort of thing. But I get back and I read everything, and I hear everything, and I love you guys for it, and I'll respond to everything I can. You guys are the best. Never mind all of that shit. We will be back next week, as always, like we always are. So live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus